Off to an amazing start. Everybody, welcome to the Unpaid and Underrated, the podcast about crew, for crew, by crew. I am Joey. I've been here before. You know my voice, you know my name. I am joined by Big Keith.
Howdy.
And Big Jen, fellow collaborator.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Not so bad. All right. I didn't say what episode this is. I'm fairly certain it's like episode 13. Like they're all just time is a flat circle. They're just meshing into each other. I'm sure somebody's going to correct me because that's what you guys love to do.
I'm curious. Do you think they all sound the same?
Every episode sounds the same.
Yeah, I'm not
sure.
Pretty much. I hope they don't, but they might. It's inevitable that they do, though.
My eye. So I'm going to be jabbing at my eye for this entire time. Both my kids have pink eye.
Oh, that's fun.
Oh,
no. So my oldest brought it into the house because he's in school. My youngest has it, and I don't have it. But psychosomatically, I've got it in every eye. And so just like I'm jabbing at this eye all night because I'm just like, it's clearly pink eye. Like, there's no pink, there's no nothing, there's no swelling or anything, but like, it hurts. Anyway.
That's the second time I heard that word today. I was listening to another podcast. Don't tell anybody. But
what, pink eye?
No, the psychosomatic.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's also from the band that nobody in the Discord seems to have heard of, Prodigy.
Oh, I know Prodigy, which is insane that I know it.
Psychosomatic product.
They're really fast, right?
Yeah, Psychosomatic Addict Insane. We brought it up one time, and Keith and the guest at the time were just like, "Nope, not a clue." And yeah, that's Prodigy. The singer's dead. As every story ever goes, once you turn 30, every story ends with, "Yeah, well, that guy's dead now."
Or he got sober and he's like 60. Because who was it? I saw something on Instagram the other day. Was it Nikki Sticks or something? It was like celebrating 22 years sober. I don't know. But some very famous like 80s rocker is celebrating 20 some years of sobriety. And that seems like the way it goes. They either die or they just, find some sobriety of some sort and get their shit together.
That's almost like addiction is bad for you. Anyway, speaking of that, what are you guys drinking?
I got the old Poland Springs established in 1845 bottle of water. I had a nice drink ready to go, and I sat it down somewhere, and goddamn it, I don't know where it is. So I just grabbed a bottle of water off my nightstand.
Maybe the cat's got it.
Yeah, he'll knock it over in the gym later.
For sure.
I'm drinking a water.
He's got that.
He just clued in.
Yeah. I was late to that party. Sorry, Jen. What kind of water you got? Anything fancy?
I literally have my emotional support Bubba keg, and I'm drinking my water. And so I actually want to talk about that just a second because I think it's funny that Tanner is like the cheapest ass person ever, but yet he's a LaCroix fan. And so for me, I've never had a problem drinking just plain water. So I can't justify spending money on sparkly, bubbly water.
You're good with the plain ones.
I am definitely, in this case, yes, good with the plain ones.
I got something special for today because I saw the box and I bought it. This is the Michael Bublé. So they've actually even crossed out the Y and put an E. It's called Mary Berry Bublé. And it's painted up like a Christmas sweater. I've had a couple sips already. I have no clue what's in this. I'm just going to go with cherry cola. But part of me wants to say there's cranberry in there somewhere, like a little bit of spiced cranberry or Sprite, as Keith would say. It's all taste the same.
Ginger ale.
Sprite ginger.
Ginger ale adjacent.
Yeah, exactly. I do like the can.
It is very fancy. It's delicious. It's not as good as the cranberry ginger ale PC, but it's pretty good. I think this is more up my life, Sally, than it is mine. But I do love Michael Bublé. It even says ho ho on the tab. The tab is purple and it says ho ho on it, which is just hilarious to me because in Canada, I don't know if you have it in the States, Michael Bublé does a Christmas special every year. And it's comedy based, of course, and it's sketch based, whatever. That he sings his songs because he's Michael Bublé and has the voice of an angel. And Yeah, so this is all pretty funny. So this is a pretty deep level Canadian can here.
Nice.
How many Canadian listeners do we have? Like 3?
Yeah.
I wasn't bashing, but like, I'm very curious. Like, do we know how many like Canadians actually listen?
So I know.
Other than Morgan.
Yeah, I know. Morgan listens. Steve listens.
Okay, so 2.
Yeah.
Scans is 3.
Scans is listening. That's probably about it. A lot of the Canadians have gotten quiet.
If you are if you consider yourself a Canadian and you do listen to this podcast, shoot us a message, let us know, say something in the Discord. I'm very curious. Even if it's 3 months from now that you're hearing the episode, as it kind of tends to be, it's just a couple. It's a regular basis with my buddy Chris. Like he's very busy, but he's a loyal listener, but he's just like months behind. Like he referenced something that I don't remember what the joke was, but it was something that we had literally talked about at least 4 or 5 weeks ago, and I was like, wow, okay, cool. Like I kind of remember what you're talking about, but catch up, buddy. But no. And then my buddy Luke, who's in there now, who is finally in the Discord. I mentioned him on like episode 5 or 6, and like he was just now got to listen to that episode. So that's cool though. That means people are actually going through the backlog. I don't know if they're just cherry picking episodes, if they're actually just starting from one and going through, but we appreciate you guys and all our listeners. So thank you.
It's kind of hard to keep up when we keep doing 3-hour episodes.
Yeah.
Hey, nobody got time for that. Like
I know. That's very true.
Sure.
I blame the guests for being so good, though. Keeping the conversation going.
Yeah, that's a compliment, right?
Keith, what's next?
I want to know what you're wearing, buddy. I just see a salmon t-shirt top. I don't know what you're wearing.
Oh, yeah, this is the Electric Diner one. I won this in a competition. It's a local restaurant.
Okay.
Yeah, I've known the guys for a while. They've opened multiple restaurants. I've been following them for a bit. And then just on Instagram one day, I won a random drawing. So I have a t-shirt from them.
And then that's not the number 1, number 2 Brownwater restaurant. That's something different.
No, that guy's gone. I think that building's been raised and everything. Wow. He's gone. But no, these guys, actually funny story about these guys. So they opened a barbecue restaurant in downtown where I used to live. So I used to go there all the time because they had like 8-hour smoked wings. They were delicious chicken wings. So I'd be there as much as I could. And without knowing it at first, I look like the owner. He's also got a big red beard and he dressed like me and everything. But I would go at night and he would only be there during the day. So anytime I would be there at night, I'd scare the crap out of all the staff because they would just catch me out of the corner of their eye. And that was actually really funny. So one day I finally had to meet him and we just kind of hit it off from there. Right. And it was pretty funny there. But yeah.
That is really good. I like that story. What about you, Jen? What you wearing tonight?
I'm wearing 2 things because it's super cold in my office. So I am wearing the Varsity Scripts sweatshirt, or I should say hoodless coat. But underneath, I'm wearing the OG Blue Ribbon Powerlifter because that was my original purchase.
Oh, nice.
Hell yeah.
It's a throwback. Harkens back.
There you go. I'm rocking out the Lift Hard, Live Easy Classic. It was sitting on top of the dresser. I was like, oh, there we go. That would work.
Perfect.
It's a good one.
All right.
Go ahead. Anybody get a chance to watch any YouTube this week? Tanner's video hit this afternoon that I've been anxiously anticipating because I knew I was going to have some issues with it, and I was proven right. So did anybody have a chance to watch that?
I did.
Nice.
I did too.
I kind of agree because like I started wearing them because I thought you were supposed to, and then I stopped wearing them. And then my MCL was like, well, I'm a quivering idiot. So whenever I squat, you're going to fall over unless I get some support. So now I have to wear them. I think kinetic tape would also fix that problem, but I don't think I can wear kinetic tape to a meet. So sleeves it is.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
What about you, Jen?
So for me, I actually did my first meet. So everything up until my first meet, I've never worn knee sleeves. And I remember checking in my gear and the guy specifically said, where's your knee sleeves? I'm like, don't have them. And he, I think, put it in my head that I was wrong because I didn't have my knee sleeves. So then after that, I started wearing them. And now I'm kind of like Joey, where it's just a habit and I feel like they keep me warm. So I thought the video made sense because honestly, I could probably go without them, but now it's just a habit.
Yeah, before I got injured, I don't think I needed them, but like I said, I stopped wearing them for a little bit, and then yeah, I got injured. It's just not pleasant to lift without support of some sort.
Yeah, I would say if we're basing it off of the clickbait thumbnail, I 100% disagree. Like you can't. I will never agree with someone saying these sleeves are overrated. Tanner's video and the words he actually said, I agree with for the most part. Like because he did put the caveat of like if you have knee issues and wearing them helps, wear them. That sentiment alone, like I can't not wear knee sleeves really. Like I've I could maybe do some like up to 50% without knee sleeves
Mhm.
if I'm doing like a high volume or a volume day or something. But it's like I don't do those very often. And I just to me the idea of like waiting to your top set to put your knee sleeves on too is pretty much not a thing because
No.
my
No.
sleeves aren't going up my leg after I'm sweaty. Like that's impossible. So they're either on at the barbell or they're not wearing them, and pretty much I'm going to wear them 95% of the time. But as far as the new age, every broccoli head buying the new fucking sleeve that is extra thick and extra denser and gets you 1 more pound, and they
Yeah.
only cost $275 this time. Like I don't know. Like I wore Mark Bell strong sleeves for probably like almost 7-8 years.
Who?
Went through some. Yeah, that fucking turd. And
Have
I
you
just
noticed
got
I do
mine.
that every time you bring them up?
Yeah,
Every
probably.
episode, somebody brings them up. I go, who?
But I've been on SBDs the last probably 2 years, and oh, I love those. Like now
Yeah,
I'm on.
I've got my
Like
SBDs. Yeah.
I'm gonna stick with the regular SBDs too because I don't like change. So like it was a big deal to go from strong sleeves to
Sure.
SBD. But now that I'm accustomed and I know exactly how my SBDs feel, I know like how to get them right and everything. Like I don't want to buy the denser version or buy someone else's denser version
Sure.
just to because everyone I've talked to that wears those say they pretty much can only wear them for like the top set or they're just extremely painful or they got to get cut out of them. And I'm like, that doesn't sound fun. Like
No. But
they
at
want,
that point, that's equipped lifting. Like
yeah.
it never occurred to me to put on sleeves to help add a few pounds. I always did it for support.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just don't want to die or hurt myself doing the weight I'm doing. And so it never occurred to me that like, well, if they were a little tighter, I'd have a little more. Just wear wraps.
Yeah.
Just like
But
give up.
I do have both. But I have A7s and the reason I went with A7s is just because I could get black on black. I'm
Mhm.
mm-hmm.
maybe a little OCD on certain things and I didn't like branding. So
Yeah.
now I have both versions, and I wear probably the lighter version 90% of the time. And then on my big heavy days, I'll wear the other ones, the stiffer ones.
No, I think that's more like are they noticeably different too? Like can you
I
feel like an extra like 5% pop out of the bottom kind of?
I
Okay.
I really do, and so I feel like that's why I so almost what Tanner said in the video, where if you I don't know if you're training, he said something about training without sleeves, and then when you go back to sleeves. So for
Mm-hmm.
me, wearing my light ones and then going to
Mm.
my heavy ones on my heavy day, either it could be totally mental, but
No,
I feel
that
like
makes sense.
that day is a good day.
I feel like there's a lot of people that will like before they had the option for these like super bougie, expensive, extra thick sleeves. Basically, what you would do is just train in your regular pair, and then right before the meet, switch into a new pair. Like you maybe your last couple top
Sure.
sets, like maybe like take 2 or 3, maybe even 1 or 2 squat sessions in like your brand new sleeves, or even have like I think at one point I had my meet sleeves that I basically wore for like 2 sessions before the meet, and then like the warm ups and the attempts at the meet, and then they went back in a bag and they didn't come out for 6 months until my next meet. So I definitely agree with all that. So
At,
it's one of
at
those things where you can just ride the line, I guess.
at what point? And like this is a thing I've been thinking about because there's a meet in February I was thinking of signing up for. At what point does powerlifting stop being about strength and start being about how to game the rules to get the best results? And like it's a thing I've been seeing increasingly is, if I switch my sleeves up, I'll get an extra 1% on lift day. Oh, if I wear this suit, I can get some extra weight, or my singlet adds a little tighterness so I can do, and it's like just go and lift shit. I mean, like I could be wrong, and I'm down to be wrong because maybe all sports are about that. But like I went to that deadlift competition, and guys were weighing in to the 200-pound class at 199.5. And then they were out lifting people by 200 pounds. And it's like, because there's cash prizes, right? So like, but at what point are you actually that strong? Because you're not strong in your own weight class. You just cut weight to beat the people smaller than you. So I don't like, for me, there's got to be a certain level where this is no longer about how much you can lift. If you study the mechanics of your body, study, your food and all that, and it's just about gaming the system to beat the people smaller than you. You're going to your powerlifting meet for the sole purpose of doing 90% to get on the books rather than show how strong you are. And for me, I guess I'm old. I sound so old right now. And I'm like, in my day, it was not even my day. I've done 2 meets, but like, God, I just keep hearing this, like, just change up your equipment and add some extra 1%. Shut up, go lift it, grip it and rip it. Shut up.
So I have super strong women in my area who I'm friends with, by the way, that are in my age group. So for me, it's a little bit easier to just let it all go because they're so much stronger than I am in master class. And I'm not going to hit those records anyway. So I just do it for me. And if I get another couple of pounds every meet, great.
But... And I think that's way more rewarding. I think that's way more interesting than, I weighed in at 5.5 pounds under the limit and I beat all this guy smaller than me. What, dude? Like, come on.
Yeah, I personally only care about my numbers at a meet. Like, if I place, great. If I don't place, I mean, that sucks. Like, it'll really suck with the 90 lifter meet this coming, like in 2024, because that's like a third less chance you're gonna medal from if you were there last year. But like, whatever. Like, I mean, that'll suck not to get a medal potentially, but I'm gonna be in Masters the year after that. And there's the likelihood there's gonna be 3 Masters like in that same weight class. Like, I don't know. You to think like the older you get, the less likelihood there's gonna be people in your age division. So,
but that's the one meet, Keith, where it doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Fuck, you go in and total 250 pounds, and we're still gonna be thrilled you showed up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right, like that's the lift hard, live easy. That's the one where I would argue it doesn't matter what you lift as long as you show up.
I might have to. I got some medical issues going on that I've been following me on Instagram. Obviously, if you're listening to this, you probably do. Haven't back squatted in about 2 months. A couple months ago, I noticed a pretty substantial lump on the back of my neck, right around C7, and it's essentially right where the bar is on high bar. So just above where it sits low bar, but right in the dead center of the high bar. And I had really aggravated it, and it like swelled up and got really nasty, and it took me a while to get in to see my primary. And then he was like, "Yeah, I think it's a cyst or a lipoma. Go see a surgeon." Basically, and I was like, "Fuck." So 2 months later, I finally saw the surgeon yesterday, and he's looking at it and feeling around and poking and prodding it. And he's like, "Yeah, I don't think it's a cyst or a lipoma. I think it's just repeated trauma from basically weight training." So, and I'm like, "Okay, well, what do we do?" And he's like, "Nothing. I can't operate. There's absolutely nothing I can do because I don't know what's in there because it's not a cyst and it's not a lipoma. So it's not a buildup. It's nothing I can go in and cut out. And it's like literally right on your fucking like cervical or your spine." So he's like, "Wait 3 months. If it's still there, get imaging." So yeah, I guess I'll keep front squatting. I think I'm going to try to introduce low bar squatting again. If I can keep the bar underneath of it and keep it not aggravated, because I guess my logic is if I can still squat and not aggravate it, because when it's aggravated, it is brutal. Like the last time I did a back squat is when I upset the tumor, or not a tumor, the
it's
squat.
not the tumor.
The tumor.
It is not a tumor. That was so the last time I back squatted is when it happened, and it just fucking hurt so bad. So
dang. So when you get to see the like,
so I like see yesterday was the first time I saw the surgeon, and he was just like, "Yeah, give me. I really don't want to do anything with it right now.
Okay.
Give me like 3 months essentially from yesterday. If it's still there and hasn't like decreased, he'll just send me to imaging. But even then, it's like they don't know what it is. Like it could be something in there with like fucking fingers going everywhere, or it could be nothing. Like he said, he thinks it's
the conjoined twin. Like
yeah, I don't fucking know, but." The irony is like my wife literally did have a tumor on her neck, just like a couple inches above where mine is, and she had to have like life altering surgery and hasn't been able to lift since. So
probably scared
yeah, oh yeah, no, I'm going through my head. I was like, I think I believe him though. It probably is some kind of like, but like it's weird that it's just like I don't know if I had it lift hard live easy, like because I was doing only low bar going into meet prep, so it only happened when I went high bar. So like, what did I do? Like, did I do? Because I think I did like a few weeks of like higher rep high bar work. So that bar doing like 6 8 rep sets with the bar just kind of bouncing like a little higher, a lot higher on my neck. Like I don't fucking know, but it's
It's
creepy. It's
inevitably
scary.
it's inevitably just you're calling to climb a bell tower.
Yeah.
No,
Yep.
because I'm a fucking no. So when she first saw it, there is something.
I'm trying to get
like
it back to silly
there's
goose.
like
I'm sorry.
there's like a hunch. Well, yeah, we're about to go into our game. We have this game we like to
But
play.
wait,
Yeah.
but I do feel you. Wait, I do feel you, Keith, though, because I would be scared. At least you can still do something. So I literally just came from a work event and they were golfing on a simulator and they're like, "Hey Jen, you want to do it?" I go, "No." And well, why not? Because I haven't warmed up. If I swing really hard, a golf club really hard, probably gonna pull something. Then I won't be able to lift. I'm like, I'm out. I don't want to do it. That's my
Absolutely.
one thing that keeps me going.
Hmm. I need those 4 or 5 hours a week to like just not fucking go postal. So yes, but
Sorry, Joey.
speaking of going postal, we had a little Joey and Cody First Blood Part Two. You guys went at it again. I can't even remember what it was now. I know when I typed this out like a couple days ago, it was funny as shit. But
No.
did he attack you again?
I just don't like bullies, guys. I just don't like bullies.
Yeah.
And like it's his second round, and he comes in, he just says something stupid, and then I respond with something flippant, and then he's like just attacked, and he was like, "You can't bench, and you wear nail polish," and I was just like, "Oh, I know what type of guy you are." And at that point, he's an unserious person, so I just went after him, and I
Yeah.
didn't go after him personally. I just let him know he's a bad person. I literally just let, like I said, he called me a weirdo with black nails, and
That's what it was.
I was like, oh yeah, I'm the weirdo. No, not the guy that came onto a meme page, saw people having fun, and was like, not on my watch, and then just started saying mean shit to strangers. No, that's normal behavior, dude. Like, I'm the weirdo, sure. And then he like got in an argument with Dan Bell and tried to start telling Dan that he can't lift.
Dan
And
doesn't squat to depth. Yeah.
yeah, notice he didn't say shit to Huck Finn, right? Didn't say anything to him. So as soon as he went to the nail polish, I was like, yeah, I know what kind of dude you are. And you're unserious. You're a bully. I'm not having any of it, but I'm not going to stoop to your level. I'm just going to remind you that you are morally a reprehensible human and get off Massonomic's page, loser. Like, yeah, that's certainly my go-to is just to remind people, like, you're letting us down. Like, you're not,
Right.
like, I'm not going to like attack you. Like, the only thing I even said to him, because the first round, he came on and he said something, and in the Discord I was like, it's always locked accounts. And then I went and looked, and of fucking course he was a locked account. So I responded to him on the first one and was like, of course you're a locked account. So he unlocked his account to prove me wrong. But then you just kind of see that he's a short dude who sumo deadlifts, like pretty okay weight, but like nothing that he should be bragging or teasing other people about. So when I went back on and I was like, oh man, because he locked his account again on the second round. And that's when I was like, oh man, like I was really enjoying your 600-pound sumo deadlift. Is that what got you to the Arnold?
Mhm.
And that's when he decided, he was like, oh no, it's because you're a weirdo. I'm like, yeah, sure, bud. But no, fuck that guy. I don't like bullies. I don't like bullies, never have no
Because he
patience for
claimed
them.
he claimed that his name wasn't his government name, but like I did a little like Googling deep dive. I think you even mentioned it too. Like there is a thing with that name that comes up as like a freshman wrestler that like never really did anything, but like the picture looked pretty fucking similar
It
to
did.
that dude. And I'm like, there's no way that's not you.
Mm-hmm.
And that means that's your real name, and you don't exist on open powerlifting. So what the fuck name did you use at the meet, or are you just a complete lion sack of shit? So,
Because he's
but either
never
way, I think
powerlifted.
we've given him enough fucking clout. So, uh, did you add something about no filming in gyms you want to talk about?
Yeah, because somebody mentioned it in the
I
Discord.
did, yeah. I think that was Mabel, wasn't it?
Yeah, that their
This was
gym doesn't
actually,
allow them to film.
yeah.
And good. I'm here for it. Ban tripods. Like, you just see the amount of good content that comes from people filming in the gym versus the amount of absolute dummy bullshit from wannabe influencers. I would just, if I owned a gym, I'd be like, no filming, show up and work out or go home.
Yeah.
Just because of all the negative stuff that you see. And I know that sometimes it's highlighted, like that negative stuff. But yeah, I just also have no patience for influencers. So I was wondering what you guys think of that. Like, I don't work out in a commercial gym, so I don't know how you guys would feel about that. But I filmed in my commercial gym, but I was always just one of those, like, my camera's there, and if somebody walked by, you're just like, cool, somebody walked by. Like, I'm not gonna cause a fuss. I'm not filming my ass. I'm filming my lift so I can watch it later to make sure I have proper, ROM and stuff like that. So,
yeah.
Just wondering what you guys think.
Keith, you want to
go? Sure. I've trained at commercial. Let's see. So my lifting history was training in a commercial gym up until the home gym. So like 5 or 6 years there, but I was never really doing any powerlifting. So I definitely never recorded. And I want to say I didn't even have a smartphone, so it was moot at that point. But it's but when I regularly do train in commercial gyms when I'm on the road. So say 15 times a year max, and I try to record at least my top set when I'm there. But it's always difficult because I'm not bringing my tripod, so then I'm like setting it up on a water bottle and shit. And inevitably people walk in front of it all the time, and it's like yeah, it sucks, but whatever. But as far as like the whole culture of like basically what Joey Swoll calls out, God, I fucking hate those people. And it's like it's both sexes. It's the girls getting all upset thinking that the guys are doing something wrong when they're not, and vice versa. And then just like the dude the other day, the one I saw most, well, it was a while ago, but like you've been on the deadlift platform for a fucking hour, man.
When he slapped that kid.
Oh yeah, he smacked him in his fucking head and then just proceeded to yell at him for an hour, and the kid just didn't even like lose his shit, which I think almost anybody else would have. So kudos to that kid, but I don't know. But that's kind of off the track of lifting, or recording. I don't know. I can't say I'm neutral because like I definitely will always record my top sets in the gym. But
if somebody told you couldn't, if you went to a commercial gym and you set up your camera, and somebody walked by and was like, "Oh, hey man, like you can't film here," like would you cry about it?
In the aspect of me only being now on, if it's only going to be a handful of times a year, I would just deal with it. If it was my gym and I didn't have a home gym, I'd have to find a different gym because I couldn't not have lifting videos. Like partially because I want my coach to see my lifting videos and critique them to somewhat, but also like the fuck's the point of having Instagram if you can't post your lifting videos?
You can post your food videos.
Wow.
You could just have an Instagram for the sole purpose of leaving mean comments on other people's Instagrams.
Yeah.
And then you run into me.
Yeah. I know it just sucks that there's just certain people that ruin it for everybody else, because I think maybe it was Big Claire, or like I've been in her shoes where you have a remote coach and you're uploading your videos to your app, and so I would be respectful. So if someone did come along, I wouldn't video or want them in my video. I mean, not want them in my video. I mean, if they didn't want to be in my video, I'd be respectful of that. But yeah, there's got to be a way. There's, how many millions of remote relationships between a power lifter and a coach, and there's got to be a way to send your information. So I would probably be in Keith's camp where I'd have to go find a new gym, where it was acceptable. In some cases, when you just don't have that opportunity, like we have a commercial gym in my town, and the next closest town, that I could get one is an hour away. So I don't know.
I see that. I definitely see that sense of it. And I'm not usually looking at it from that perspective. I'm usually looking at it because I just despise fitfluencers. So that's how I'm looking at it, is I'm seeing these people that are just like, I was filming my butt doing back day and you walked through it and now I'm mad. And it's like, yeah, I posted this thing today and it's been getting a lot of, there's a page called Influencers in the Wild. And it's just like people filming influencers who are filming themselves. And this one is just like,
oh, I gotta follow that.
Oh, it's so fun. It's like when you see them on the beach with their butt out of the water, and like they're like, their videos all like edited and shiny, but when you see them filming it, they look like losers because they're like at a crowded beach, like trying to like make sure people don't walk through their camera. And today was this one where this girl was like walking slow motion between horses, and then one of the horses plowed into her. And I just put the comment, like, watching influencers eat shit is my favorite Schadenfreude.
Oh yeah, I gotta watch that.
And that's the perspective I'm coming from, is like, I love that.
Right. I think that's in everything though. So there's just always going to be assholes that are ruining it for everybody, no matter what it is. It doesn't have to be videoing in a gym. It could be whatever it is, and
Yeah.
there's got to be some asshole that has to fuck it up.
Okay, Keith, do you want to move on to rate last week's episode?
Yeah, so we are going to switch this up a little bit. We're going to retire, at least temporarily, for now. We're going to retire the JD Powers and Associates, and we're going to switch over to Massonomics Gym iPod Touches. So on a scale of 1 to 5, or 0 to 5, if you really don't like them, on the Massonomics iPod Touches, what did you guys think about last week's podcast episode?
Jen?
Sure. I'm so happy that I got Paz podcast to talk about, because he was one of the best guests that we've had in a long time. He was so freaking funny. But even leading up to that, so even the recap on Brian and Cody, that was hilarious.
I was dying talking about Brian. I was dying because I was remembering it because I was there as it happened.
Right, because I think even Tommy, so I think maybe a couple episodes Tommy talked about how they poorly describe memes on a podcast. So you literally talk about it. Oh my gosh, I do that all the time, and I loved that. But then he was just again describing the Brian memes, and my favorite one was from one of the Davids, where it was the Vince McMahon one, and
that was the crying Vince McMahon.
The crying video. David got me with that one. It was so great. I had to show that one to my husband and explain the situation. But also real quick, when they got to Pa and they were talking about how do you eat potatoes in Ireland? And he said that's racist.
Yeah, got me good.
I freaking about fucking died. And then the over and under was amazing, and the Irish goodbye and him just like throwing his sister under the bus about how she always Irish goodbyes, but then he's like, well, technically it's just a goodbye at that point. So for those reasons, I'm going to give it 5 Massonomics Gym iPad Touches.
I'll go because 5. You're right. Even I was describing it to Morgan, and just his liberal use of the word cunt. And I was just like, she was like, am I going to have to listen to this episode? And I was like, yes. And he just like, but also like listening to it and trying not to, it's probably a Canadian thing. I've heard it's a Canadian thing, trying not to match his accent. So I don't know if that's an American thing, but in Canada, when somebody speaks to you with an accent, if you listen to it long enough, you start like hearing in their accent and then doing it back to them. And it's like kind of offensive, but
yeah, I can see that being a little insulting.
Yeah, but it's like a thing that your brain does. And I guess it's just a Canadian thing.
I don't think it's Canadian. I think it's everybody.
Yeah, is everybody? Okay. Cause like, yeah, for the next 20 minutes, everything was just, you fucking cunt. Like, it was just so, when his kid showed up, that was really funny too. But
then they weren't they doing something, wasn't he asking him something somewhat pretty vulgar, like right in front of his kid? So I can't remember exactly what it was, but Tanner was like, oh, what the fuck was it? I can't remember now. But yeah, sorry.
You're right, though. He did.
And the delivery of that's racist, because it was just so like when he's like, so do Irish people eat potatoes? And it felt like he leaned back from the microphone and he was just like, that's racist. And it is so definitely 5. I'm glad Pa chose Massonomics to finally do a podcast. And I hope he's not disappointed the next time he does one and it's nothing like that.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. I bet the video would have been great on that too. Like, I mean, I missed last week's recording, or at least most of it, so I was actually able to listen to the entire thing Monday morning on my drive to work, or to the job site that is. So it was the full episodes that I listen to are always a hair more enjoyable, because it's like, okay, I'm not like breaking it up between like the 45 minutes and then listening to the interview later. So, but yeah, that dude was funny as shit. I think I previously followed him, but I didn't really know him. It's like just one of those like, oh, we have like 100 of my friends follow you, I'm gonna follow you kind of thing. But yeah, he was fucking hysterical.
So
the Irish, I was waiting for him to get super pissed off with the Irish car bomb thing too, just because that's like the IRA and shit's like really, that was like probably a huge thing over there, and like that like wasn't something they probably make jokes about. But all in all, yeah, the fact that he said cunt 375 times was hysterical. I was just like, oh, I love this.
Yeah.
It was one of the better episodes I've heard. Probably,
Is
I would say it might be the episode of the year. Honestly, it was that enjoyable.
Is your name Tanner? Is that a name? Is that a name over there?
Oh, that was fucking great.
Like 1 in 100, you probably get you get 2 Tanners.
Yeah, so definitely one of the better. Yep, sorry, do you have something?
Oh, I want to touch on something that was like
you
you guys had it in your episode this week, and so did Massonomics, maybe. But talking about the shield carry, I wanted to talk about that because I was literally screaming at your podcast this Tuesday, going, "It's a freaking bean! It has to be a bean, right?" Because he kept saying it's cool, it's cool, or
that would be well because it
I don't know how to carry it
because he did call it a shield, not a hoofah hoofah.
Yeah. Well, so Jake did say it was a face.
So it could be a bag.
He said it was a Huzeful.
No,
and
he
then
said it was
I was like,
well,
he did that, and then I asked him. I thought those all had to be the same size because he said we're not sure about this the complications, the words, and then I was like, then he said no, we're calling it a shield. That's the only thing I remember from that episode. I was exhausted. We didn't get your rating, Keith.
So on a scale of 0 to 5, Massonomics Gym iPod touches. As someone who's never had an iPod, I'm not really familiar. You know, I went from flip phone to iPhone, never had an iPod, but we'll go ahead and give it 5 this week. You know, I'm not really sure where that helps, where that ranks. But, you know, with 5 iPod touches, I'm sorry to Big Kevin who has to start a new spreadsheet now because I don't know that if 5 iPod touches correlates with 5 JD Power Associates or not. But, you have to let us know, buddy.
For years, carried 2 things. I carried a phone and an iPod.
Yeah.
And then at one point, my friend dropped the most money in the world to buy, I think it was an iPhone 4 or something. Like, this is way back in the day. And we were all like, buddy, you have all of those components. He's like, yeah, but now I only have to carry one. And that was the smartest thing anybody said to me because I'm all about space saving technology. That's why I'm not a record guy. All my CDs are in a book and I have Apple Music Stream. I'm all about just the least possible amount of space. So I had the clicky wheel one. I had the shuffle, the little mini one, which I lost on a St. Patrick's Day. That's a fun story. When I lived downtown, it was right when I first met Morgan. She came and met me. I was at the Rebels Rock, which was an Irish pub owned by a retired Irish policewoman. So it was every stereotype you could think of. But she made the best fucking fish and chips. The best. And I went there because a friend of mine was playing. It was just the perfect storm. And a couple of days later, I was like, I can't find my iPod. So I ended up having to buy another one at that rate. The following year, I pulled out my St. Patrick's shirt, which was a green button-up shirt that I had that was absolutely gorgeous. And I checked the pocket, and there's my fucking iPod.
Whoops.
And the best part is, I didn't even wash that shirt. I must have just hung it up and forgot about it. But that was that St. Patrick's story.
Did you guys see the meme going around this week about why Gen X is so pissed off all the time? And it was because we've had to go through so many transitions of music. So I went from my box of cassettes to my book of CDs to all the stuff. It was great.
And we just came full circle when Jen just explained a meme to us. Good stuff. No, that is funny though, because I want to see what have I had? Tape cassettes, CDs, and then burnt CDs, and then I think I did it a shitty like plug-in flash drive MP3 player thing, and then right to an iPhone, I guess.
Yeah.
I
would give anything to have all my tapes back.
I had CDs, and then I went electronic, and then I had a car that had a cassette player, so I actually went back to cassettes because all the hipsters started making cassettes, and I was like, well, that's convenient because that's all I have. Because at the time, I was using one of those things that was a cassette with a wire that you could plug into the auxiliary of my CD player.
Yeah.
And it was just shitty quality. And so, yeah, when they started making cassettes again, I went back to cassettes.
Yeah. That's a core memory for me. I remember getting my first CD and I was just turning 16 and they were starting to become popular. And I had the same thing, like you'd try to get the stabilizer to make your CD not skip because you had to have like the tape stuck into the tape deck and then you had your CD player on your dash or whatever. Yeah, that's aging me.
All right, Big Joe, you got a one last topic here we're going to hit before we get into the sponsor read?
Yeah, and it's a bit of a sponsor read. It's just an opportunity for me to kind of blow some smoke up Tanner's ass. And some of you might not know, and don't read the name of it because I'm going to be as diplomatic as I can here. There was another Discord that some of us had joined that was kind of Massonomics adjacent. And essentially, we ended up sending somebody some money for a product 5 or 6 months ago. And then that person has ghosted us ever since. And I just want to say, Tanner messaged me recently and kind of tasked me with reaching out to some of the members that Tanner's actually going to hook us up with something on behalf of Massonomics, because he says that he kind of feels a lot of us trusted that person because of Massonomics. So I just want to put it out there that, like, being crew, we all have a good time. We all have a silly time. We all have a fun time. But these are good people. These are good people we're working with. They attract good people. I just wanted to just put it out there. And, I'm reaching out to some of these people and they're all a little suspicious of why I'm talking to them and asking them, like, hey, what's your t-shirt size? How much money did you send? And they're like, why? Like, were you a part of it? So some of them, like, kind of were suspicious, but just know that, like, it was all Tanner put me up to it. He just didn't want to be kind of in charge of it. And it was really cool. So that would just lead best into what Big Jen is about to say.
Oh boy. All right, you guys. Okay, so for my sponsor read, I decided to write a poem. I went back to like my elementary / junior high days. The poems where you like write the word vertically and then you use the letters to make the poem.
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay. So that's, just keep that in mind. It's Massonomics are the beginning letter of each line. So here we go. Okay. I called it Ode to Massonomics. Massonomics, oh, how we love thee. All the memes, podcast episodes, and beer parody. Supporting members continue growing, one might say exponentially. Sorry, except for Brian. He unfollowed as they made it so easy. Every sparkling water earning JD Powers for a cool, crispy crack. Niche stories of stealing toilet paper and old days at the Y really harkens back. Overpriced shorts may send us all straight to the slums. Maybe not those who are still good with the plain ones. If you're a silly goose who likes lifting hard, living easy, and podcasts about nothing, come join the crew. We'll accept you with open arms and take you under our wing. Simply grab a spicy water and a chicken bake. It's all you need to bring.
Well done.
Appreciate Hell yeah. Hell yeah. All right. Well, God, that's been a bit of a serious episode. Like, we've had like two, like me praising Tanner and you talking about your neck thing. So let's get into some silly business. Should we get our guest on the horn?
Yeah, we got to kick all these listeners out, and we can see if we can get her on the horn.
Well, you saw Scott join for a second.
Yeah,
big hot.
It was like, it threw me off because it was like, for anyone listening, like if I had a little stumble in my my medical story, Scott kind of logged in to the live recording and
heard you were being a serious goose, and then was like, "Fuck this, I'm out."
Yeah,
sure. Totally ruined the story.
He orange glazed me, so yeah.
Good. All right, Big Jen, is that you?
It's me. I'm so happy to be here, guys.
And you can hear us. Everything's okay?
I can hear you.
All right. Well, welcome to the Unpaid and Underrated.
So excited. I think Scott dropped in because him and I are buddies, so he probably just wanted to give us a nod.
Absolutely no. It was the timing for me that was more funny than anything else. We don't care when people pop in and out. It just kind of threw me off. So I wasn't trying to throw him under the bus or anything. Well, Jen, number one question we pretty much ask everybody. I'm sure you were waiting for this. What brought you to Massonomics?
Yeah, I'm gonna say two things actually. So wait, I think I was on the Massonomics journey back when I was a little girl because my grandparents lived next to um this family and they had a Jen who lived next to them and we played together all the time. So since she was a little bit younger, her name was Little Jen. And of course, that meant I was Big Jen. So I was destined to find Massonomics
That's
eventually.
amazing.
She's the chosen one.
But seriously though, when I was actually in my commercial gym days, I saw this. I had was doing classes and I kind of had outgrown them and started doing some stuff on my own. And this really strong girl came in one day, and her and I started, we befriended each other. And she's like, "Hey, you should check out Hybrid." And so I checked out Hybrid and started doing that. And through that and through Instagram, I found Big Lou. And of course, Big Lou and I became buddies, and he rocks the beer parody all the time. So when I saw the PBR shirt, I had to have it. And so once I got the shirt, it was all downhill. I started the podcast, I did everything. So I actually started listening to the podcast then and listened to the new ones. And then until the next new one would come out, I would continue to listen to the backlog. So it took me quite a while. And that's how I found him. Big Lou, of course.
So what that's like circa 18, 19, 20? Where are you at on that?
Oh, yeah. It was in 2019-ish. So some of the first podcasts I listened to were oh my gosh, I'm gonna forget their names. They were back to back, the food guys. One is the guy trying to lift 800, bench 800. Help me out.
TD Smash.
Food guy.
Yeah. Well, it was TD Smash was second, but the other one that's trying to bench 800.
Oh wow. Yeah. Fuck. What is his name? Oh, that's bugging me.
It doesn't matter, but they were my
first,
like a couple of my first episodes, and them talking about food talk and food hacks at like the fast food chains and stuff got me sucked in. And then I spent all of 2020 basically. I walk a lot, so I listened to the backlog while I went for my walks.
Nice. So you are one of the few in the crew that see the value in listening to the entire backlog. Something everyone knows I'm a little stickler for, but to each their own. It's cool though, because like they've evolved. Like so at that time too, it was kind of weird. Like so you and I were in the same boat as far as like found it like how 3/4 of the way through their tenure, and then listened live every week, but then also went back and caught episode 1 through like 200 to catch up kind of thing. It was just because sometimes it's like, oh wow, they're really acting different, or they like, why are they? This reference doesn't make any sense to the episode I just listened to.
I know. I had to know the reference. I couldn't, like, my OCD wouldn't let me not know the references. But also, I am a little weird because I did them backwards. So I listened from good ones to not so good ones. And that actually was one of the first times I reached out to Tanner, was because I got to his episode where he did a sleep study. And of course, I was listening backwards. So I knew that the one I had just listened to, he didn't tell us what the results of the sleep.
I got
so I reached out and I said, "What the hell? Like, you didn't even tell us what happened to your sleep study." So
just so I try, like, I think so say the first episode you listened to was 200, then you went to 199, 198, 197, 196. Wow, that might be a first. I don't know if anyone else has done that. Like that's that's crazy. Yeah, that'd be a very interesting, because they would like regress almost. That's but at least that way there's like no spoil. I mean, everything's almost spoiler free at that point.
Yep.
But no, that's very cool. I'm glad you found that and that you're here with us tonight.
Me too, for sure.
So in that tenure, have you been able to claim victories on any of the Massonomic contests over the years? Because it sounds like you probably entered the majority of them.
I've entered all of them.
Okay, there you go.
The first one was, I was still in the commercial gym and they were doing the what gets you hyped up for a deadlift. And so I remember I wanted to be one of the first people to put the video in. So I I went and bought a hot apple pie from McDonald's. I had a shirt in Tanner's. I wrote on the sack, like Tanner's sack. Like I went and made this whole scene, and I was doing it at a commercial gym.
That's
and
awesome.
I remember them talking. That was one of the first times they talked about me on the podcast, because they're like, she has raised the bar. And then everybody like totally started kicking butt. But anyway, I've never actually won. I've always been a bridesmaid, so I always get kind of a side prize, which is okay. At least I'm still relevant.
Well, speaking of that, were you the first chocolate chip?
Well, I mean, maybe not plus the moms and the wives.
Okay, yeah. Oh, I guess they count, but they're not crew, are they?
So that's where it gets gray. Like, is crew anyone that just like financially supports Tommy Tanner? To me, crew is if you don't have your supporting membership coming out of your credit card every week, are you crew? Because I don't know. Because like, there's a lot of guys at the gym that like there's multiple people that we met that are like friends with Tommy and Tanner or relatives, but like they're not. Are they crew? Because
they're
they're
adjacent.
Not, you know,
or like even Megan. You know, she.
Yeah, I don't.
Technically would be the chip, but she's not in the crew. But I'm number 22 on my card, so I'm sure I'm probably one of the first chips for sure, at least on the card carrying list.
If anyone listening has Big Jen beat as a cookie, let us know.
Chocolate chip. I saw it here. It says were you the first cookie?
Yeah,
I was like, we're all the cookie, Keith.
Oh yeah. So now it's people explain references to Keith time. Because no, good call. It's 100. Yeah. I'm fucking tired, man.
Oh my god, me too. 4 a.m. wake ups can go to hell.
Sorry.
Don't you guys fall asleep on me?
Well, I probably won't.
You're good.
Oh, I got
angry that I messed up the fucking note.
I have so I got the Dim Mac Redux from Obsidian, and apparently it's like nose bleach and Dim Mac mixed. So I took it down to Steve's because we did the garage gym together at Steve's house, and I first opened it there. I thought about bringing it up to like help me snap out of whatever's going on for this podcast, but I can't handle that shit more than like once every couple of days. I did it today for RPE 10 squats. It sucks. Like it's like nose bleach was harsh, but I could handle it. And this stuff, you get too close and suddenly your brain's like, I want out. Like your brain just comes out of your nose. So I guess that's our second sponsor read. I'm just going to include that as our second sponsor read. Try that Dim Mac Redux. It'll fuck up your life.
Yeah.
Like,
and I want to read. I want to redirect for 60 seconds, tell a little story. So, dude, to harken back to the video in the gym, more or less, I forgot to fucking video my goddamn 505-pound trap bar deadlift the other day, and it was the most weight I've ever pulled in my life. And like, I'm so fucking mad. Like, I'm mad.
So it didn't happen.
Yeah, it never happened.
Well, it once when he said twice worse, specifically was for the garage gym competition too. So then I couldn't put it towards my fake and my fake total for that and shit. So I'm just like, I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Because like I 470 was chipping a PR by like 10 pounds or something for that for a deadlift for that deadlift. And I think at that point, outside of like a really really high rack pull, that was the most weight I've ever physically picked up of like at any height, and then 505 beat my heaviest rack pull even, which was like a foot higher than where my trap bar was at.
Why didn't you just do it again?
Oh, I fucking tried, and then like it didn't fucking budge because that was like the 470 already. I like borderline blew my wall.
It sounds like it was easy, and you could have just done it again.
Yeah,
was like all I had in me. Yeah, and then I tried 505 again 10 minutes later, and I think it came a fucking an inch. I'd be giving myself too much credit if I say it came off an inch. It broke the floor barely, and then I was just like, "Yeah, I'm good. I've already done like 4 maximum effort lifts. I'm done."
So here's what you got to do next time: just grab it and stand up.
Yeah, I'll try.
Yeah, easy.
It's easy. Try. There's the one thing that I say to my coworkers all the time because I'm the manager. So whenever they try and give me excuses, I look them dead in the face and say, "I believe you." And they know that it's so utterly sarcastic. And that's just what I wanted to say to you when you were like, "Oh, I did 505, forgot to record it." I believe you.
That's all right. The worst thing was like my coach was here too, so I mean I guess worse than like my coach physically saw it, so I didn't have to send him the video. But I was like, God damn, I was so mad when I went to my phone, and then I was like, I kept looking at my photo album because sometimes if your phone's like almost full of storage, like it won't show up until you delete some shit, and then it sometimes will come back. And I'm like, yeah, no, it's just fucking never hit record. I was so mad. So sorry to steal Jen's spotlight. Just get back to the interview.
Yeah, it's
but
a good thing we brought a guest in.
Yeah. And who is the guest? Is it Chiquita Jin Hannah? Is that it? Did I say that right?
Yeah, it's Chiquita Jin Hannah. It sounds like Chiquita Banana, right?
Yeah,
right. Chiquita Janana.
That's what I gathered.
That came from an old buddy of mine. Still calls me that, honestly. But he threw in the Chiquita. I had friends that just my maiden name was Hannah, and so everybody called me Jen Hannah, but it was always more so just one word, Janana. And so okay. he threw in the Chiquita, so that's where that came from.
Gotcha. Well, speaking of throwing stuff around, I hear whenever you you like to throw slaps around anytime you're walking down the hardware stores and you see a bag of dirt or grass seed or mulch, you just have to give it a big old smack on the ass. Is that a thing?
But don't you?
Probably to some extent. Yeah, it was noteworthy that one of your it was noteworthy enough that it was a thing that someone wanted us to talk about. That's all.
I don't even know who would say that except for maybe my husband.
Yeah,
I love it. Do you think it's an OCD thing? Like it just has to be done.
Well, especially if it's something you did once and then it's like, you gotta do it twice, and it's just like, but it's like so it's not stuff you're specifically buying. It's just like you'll just walk down the aisle and tap.
Yeah, you got to give a little bit of. So my wife is like that with pumpkins, tap tap, and she got my kid doing it. And I noticed my ex. So this I don't know. Maybe it's a lady thing, women thing, whatever. She would have to feel clothes. Even if she had no intention of buying it, she would just walk by, rub the fabric, and then continue walking. And one day I was like, why? You're not even... what color was that? Did you even see what color it was when you touched it? And then she was like, no, but I just had to touch it. And like, I was just like, okay. Ooh. So
I mean, okay, I'm kind of with her on that. I do like that. But hardware stores are the best when they have like bags, 50-pound bags of dog food, bird seed, foil or soil, whatever it is, fertilizer. You gotta give it a big old slap.
Yay. We're going through our notes. Like a lot of this is just us reading and hoping something like flows.
Something in my life is interesting.
No, there's a lot. It's always hard to take a paragraph and put it into like 5 words that we can just use as like, oh, I'm going to talk about this now.
So a little while ago, we talked about the butter sculptures in Iowa.
Right, yeah.
Right? Now we talked about those at
Butterface.
No, at what? at the state fair, I think is how I heard about them.
Yeah.
But you've had photography displayed at the Iowa Fair. Tell me about that.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. I sound like such a nerd. Tell me about that.
That is pretty cool, though.
It is really cool.
I was intrigued.
I walk around this world and I think I see things in pictures. I love photography. So it was probably when my son was, I don't know. I think we were going to San Francisco. We were getting ready to go to San Francisco. He might have been 5. So, and he's 16 now. So 11 years ago or so, my husband finally bought me a kind of a starter kit camera. So I actually got to start to learn the craft of photography, and I self-taught all the things, read all the books I could read, watched videos, all the things. So I got pretty good at it. In fact, actually, I know people online can't see it, but this picture back here is one of mine, and I have a big one over here too on the wall. But I just love photography. So every year that I can, it's been a couple years since it seems like COVID ruined everything because they didn't do it the COVID year. But each year you can submit for photos and you put them in some categories. And yeah, I've got a couple displayed. I actually won an award the last time I did it. So it's just a fun hobby. So
now Is that picture black and white, or is your entire background set to black and white?
No, that picture. This room, I kind of have it as my quote unquote photography room. So everything in it is black and white just for photography.
So for those of you who can't see it, the curtains are black and white. And I think there's like a thing under the picture that looks really black and white. So it kind of looks like there's a filter set behind you.
There's actually a bed back, like a day bed that's black and white. Everything is literally black and white. And I have my camera in here and stuff. But yeah, I take my own family pictures for Christmas.
There you go.
All the things. So really enjoy it.
Definitely a good way to save some money for that.
Yeah.
Wait, whoa.
What do you find?
Your favorite beer style is a sour?
It is. Sorry.
No, don't be sorry. It's different, because it was funny. I was talking about that today, how the brewery I go to, they make like a lot of sours, and I don't necessarily always love them. But like when they're good, they're good. I'll tell you, man. Morgan, well, I bought it for Morgan because she likes her pumpkin spice beers during the fall. And I found like a pumpkin sour. And like, she's like, oh, you should try this. Like, this is more up your alley. And I ended up liking it more despite hating pumpkin beers. It's called like Smooth, SMU umlaut V. Phenomenal. I like my sours in the summer, but I don't necessarily enjoy them year round.
Yeah, I'm gonna caveat this with I like to eat my calories and eat my macros, so I don't drink all the time, but when I do, I do love sours. We have a place. Well, we have tons of craft breweries in Iowa, but one of them is known for their sours, and they do some really fun ones, like Hawaiian punch, what they call it, like Hawaiian, so an Iowan. And nice. It tastes exactly, and they have one that's called, I can't remember what they call it, but it's like Ecto Cooler. Oh my God, it was so good. They have cotton candy. Every one they come out with is so good. But yeah, I do love a good sour. So we live in a town that has it's called the Peanut Pub, and it's called a beer bar, so they don't serve domestics or anything like that. So it's all craft beer. The majority of it is Iowa beer, but they'll have some out of state sourced beers. But anyway, they have beer school about every so often, and a brewery will come in, and you get to learn about the brewery, how it started, how their beers work. So that's where I really kind of probably got into the sours. So got to try IPAs, sours, all the things, and it's super fun.
That's so cool. I did that with tequila. There was a tequila bar here that did like, they brought in like the founders of tequila companies, and they taught you and how to like pair their tequila, how to properly drink tequila, and all this kind of stuff. So there's definitely some value in that kind of stuff.
It's fun to learn about. So we've gone on tours, obviously, at couple. Wait, what's the whiskey one that I'm thinking of in Tennessee?
Jack Daniels.
Yeah, Jack Daniels, and that was, oh my gosh, that not specifically the whiskey, because I don't really love whiskey, but the tour itself was amazing. And then you end with the whiskey, so of course you have to taste it. But and then when we were in Jamaica, we went to one that made rum, and got to do a tour and tasting. That was really fun too.
You've just described a lot of places that a lot of us probably haven't been to. So someone had mentioned traveling as one of your favorite hobbies. So you've already kind of hit on all that. Is that just something you've always done, or something you kind of got into later in life? Just like being more ambitious, sorry.
Yeah, it took a long time, Keith. Obviously, I grew up, we didn't have a lot of money. We didn't take a lot of trips. And I think we went to Missouri, to this place called Worlds of Fun and Oceans of Fun. And that was within driving distance. So we go there sometimes. And then I remember one trip to Colorado, but other than that, we really didn't have a lot growing up. So when my husband and I got married, we just decided that's going to be something that, we do, and we do with our son, and just to make those memories. So, but it took a while. We're probably in our late 30s before we could, we felt comfortable with bringing our son and having the finances to do it. So that's what we're really looking forward to in our retirement days.
I can
Nice.
attest to that. Yeah, I when I was about 16, my dad drove me across Canada. And as a 16-year-old, you're like appreciative, but you don't understand it. So
Right.
when my kid, before actually, it's a funny story. We booked a trip to Halifax to go to the Keith's Brewery, my buddy and I was with Morgan at the time. We weren't married or anything, but we were like together, like we were. And she was like, "I'd like to go with you." And she actually told me she was pregnant the week before that trip.
Mm.
And then about 3 years later, we went back, like right before, I want to say 2019. No. 2022, we went back to Halifax. And it was just, it's the same thing. And it's like, I had never traveled beyond that trip with my dad until I won a trip to Apple in San Francisco.
Oh, cool.
And so Apple flew me down and they put me in a hotel. And I was just like, now I want to see everything. So like I immediately came back, went to Halifax. Then I went to Calgary and Banff and Alberta. And then again to Halifax again a little later. Then to South Dakota. Then to like Ohio.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I want to see everything.
All the things, and there's just not enough time, but we try to go on a trip every year, so it's just been, and I've had so many good memories. But my son's first one was San Francisco, and he really enjoyed it. I can vividly remember us going to the Alcatraz Museum and him having that, we all had the headsets listening to it, and he was so enamored by what they were talking about. He loved it. So yeah, I love making the memories. And of course I bring my camera, got to take all the pictures that I can.
Okay. There's one I wanted to talk about. We have a contentious thing in the crew, and that's lifting to podcasts. Because I can't do it. I'm actually getting to the point where I don't even want to listen to music while I lift anymore. Like I'm gonna go like Jake from State Farm style and turn off the lights and the music like a psycho and just like lift in the dark and the quiet. But you listen to podcasts when you lift.
I do, and I love it. Honestly, it's just that I get tired of uh-oh.
Wow, somebody's popular today.
Hey, buddy.
Oh, he's not going to say anything. That's okay. Keep going.
Oh God. Okay. I was like, can they talk or what?
He's loud if he wants.
It's funny that you come on. Hey,
who's this?
Nope, he'll be up after his thing.
He'll be up after his thing.
We were just talking to Jen about lifting to podcasts, listening to podcasts while you lift.
Oh God, no.
You got to. So now I'm like addicted. I have to, because there's just not enough time in the day. So, and you guys are releasing 2.5 hour
oh my God, yeah.
So if I'm not doing it when I'm lifting, I try to walk 10 to 12,000 steps a day. So I try to get in, my podcast during then. But now I have Massonomics is a 2.5 hours. You guys are 2.5 hours. I have 3 now podcasts from my other boys. Small Town Murder, they have a 3-hour one and a 1-hour one, and now they've come out with this new one called Your Stupid Opinion. Oh my God, guys, if you guys want to listen to something funny, they literally just read internet interviews and just fucking rag on the people that are putting the ratings.
Oh, yeah, I might be into that. Yep.
Okay, I think it's number 7. So whichever one came out this week, but it's called Baggy Condoms. Look at that one. Your Stupid Opinion, Baggy Condoms. If you want to get hooked on it, listen to that one. I walked around town listening to that one, and their reviews of Trojan condom, reading the reviews of Trojan condoms was the fucking funniest thing I've ever heard.
That's awesome.
I had a side ache. I was laughing so hard, but yeah, so I feel like it's just a timing thing. So it's out of necessity that I have to listen while I lift, and now I just got used to it.
Are you a basement or garage? Another contentious thing amongst the crew.
He's a garage.
I actually have a specific home gym. I made it for us. So I'm not quite a shed in the sense that Big Matt is. Oh, by the way, Big Matt, he had me call in today because he couldn't quite make it for some reason. He had some lame ass excuse, but he asked me to fill in for him, so I did.
We weren't like, I wasn't gonna say that because I didn't feel like calling him out again, but we tried.
I'll call him out. He keeps giving me a bunch of shit on Instagram about fucking not being on, and he's the problem, not me. So I don't know.
But I feel like Big Matt has like in my mind, is a garden shed.
He has a. I like to call his home gym a she shed. It's about
it would be
kind
like
of what it reminds me of. But
does he have a nice garden walk path to it? And it's got little in-ground stepping stones that he goes to his
lawn care. But no, we started in 2020, late 2020. We just decided to build one. So we built a huge cement slab in our backyard and built a pole barn. I don't know what other people call them. We call them pole barns.
I always thought that was a garage. That's awesome. That was a standalone. That's crazy.
Yeah. So we built in storage too. So my gym is pretty big. And then we built like our storage in the back for our mowers and stuff. But Keith, in case you're keeping track, you want to know how big my gym is?
I do, actually. I'm very curious of the square footage.
So the gym portion of it is, get this, 56 by 64 by 48.
That's huge.
Oranges. I could literally fit 43,008 oranges inside of my gym.
That's crazy.
So it's actually 14 by 16 by 12, the gym portion of it. So
okay, I gotcha. That makes more
I had
sense.
To measure it in oranges.
I got you. That's hysterical. That's awesome. I love it. That is.
He's gonna add that one to his spreadsheet now. So
that
now
was
we're gonna find out how many oranges your gym is.
That was a very thoughtful gift that you just gave me. So, but I do hear that you dislike unthoughtful gifts. Is that something have you received unthoughtful gifts in the past and you have made a fuss about them, or is it just something people know not to get you something unthoughtful?
Here's a gift card.
Yeah, I mean, it's not to say a lot of people don't agree with that sentiment, but it was meaningful enough that someone had mentioned it to us.
So
I'm assuming there's a story.
Okay. There probably is a couple of stories actually, but I despise. I get so frustrated around the holidays. So I love the holidays. Don't get me wrong. Absolutely love them because I love family. I love spending time with everybody. But when it comes down to, hey, can you make me a list? Or hey, what gift cards do you want? It's just like we're all swapping money around to each other. Like, why don't we just keep our own money and have an experience together, or go out to eat or go to a hotel or do whatever we need to do, or pick a vacation and go on a vacation. So if you have to ask what I want, we probably need to spend more time together. So I feel like it would mean more if we spent the time together, because we only get so much. So but also, so my my husband's first gift to me was he knew I loved the color blue, so he got like the Swiss Army like set, and it came with a blue pin and a blue Swiss Army knife. And I'm like, open this gift, and I'm like, thanks.
What am I gonna do with a gun rack?
I don't even own a gun, let alone miniguns to necessitate a gun rack.
And you were worried you wouldn't get any of my references.
I still have that little Swiss Army knife. I don't know where the pin went, but I still have that blue Swiss Army knife. But I give him shit every year, like, why? Why did you?
I would hold it aside for when he needs something and be like, "Oh, I have this. Can you pass me a knife?
I need help there.
Yeah.
Let me get it.
Oh, I have this.
You got something in your teeth? Hold on."
No, I didn't mean to steer away from the gym, because I could talk home gym all day. It was just
that's
okay. We know.
I found that perfect segue. Like, don't give you talk about fucking music that only
how many oranges can fit in your gym, Keith? Why don't you know Keith, that?
Do the math.
I don't know. It's like 700 square foot, so I don't.
How many oranges is 700 square feet?
I'd have to do them. I'd have to figure. I did an average size of an orange was 3 inches diameter, so that's how I figured out mine.
So you heard it here.
She said.
You had her here first. Yep. The average size of an orange is 3 inches.
Around.
Yep. Yeah. Luckily, that's me 3 times.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Dick jokes.
Yeah.
Classics.
We make them with female or male guests. We're not
classics. God, I'm old.
I had one here. Where to go? Okay, so so a funny story. I'm told this is a funny story, and I'm supposed to ask you about 0000.
Okay. Oh my God, I didn't think this one would come up. So I know who this came from. This came from Jen, which you guys got to meet. I got the chance to at least see or meet at the Lift Hard, the Easy.
Oh, other Jen.
Yeah, other Jen.
I love other Jen.
Yeah. We have played softball together for, actually, her and I've been friends since forever, since kindergarten.
Is that little Jen?
That is not little Jen, no.
Okay.
No, she's equal Jen. But
is Jen a common name where you're from? You know, so it's not like Tanner, right?
It's not where we're from. It's when we're from.
Oh, okay. Good call. Yeah. Yeah. Like Skylar.
Everybody.
Like Skylar and Tyler.
Jennifer or Jason or Tiffany or Trisha, Stephanie.
Hey, I got a Stephanie.
Yeah, and she's closer to my age range.
Yeah. She just turned 38. She does not like me telling people that, but she's turned 38.
So he told all of us that.
Yep.
Just told the whole world.
Yep.
Well, continue with your 00100 story.
Yes.
All right. Please. So we obviously played softball together a lot, and this was a little league game. And for some reason, so a girl on the other team had double knot as her number, and we really hadn't just seen it before. We were not being bullies to this little girl. We just had never ever seen 00 on a little league jersey before, and so of course Jen and I are constantly in cahoots, but we were like 00, that's pretty cool, 00, 00, and we just kept like, we were so hyper focused on these stupid 00 numbers, and the mom thought we were picking on her. And so ultimately she like tried to get us in trouble. They came over and we took off running because we thought we were in big shit. So we like ran across the street.
It's the fuzz. And it just bolts because like adults came walking over
some bushes, and like we're peeking through the bushes, watching this mom try to yell at us for making fun of her daughter when we weren't even making fun of her daughter. We just thought the number was cool, and I don't know. She just took it out of context and thought we were being bullies, but we definitely weren't being bullies. And looking back, I feel bad for running, but that's one of our core memories is diving over the bushes and hiding and watching this mom be totally pissed at us.
Speaking of moms, I can segue into I think most people consider you, I don't know if it's a name you give yourself, but a lot of people have coined it you, the crew mom. How do you feel about that? Is that something you embrace, or are you kind of just like, oh, really?
I think I embrace it. So
nice.
Although I'm not old enough to be everybody's mom. So sure. I do like that Scans calls it out as big sister in some cases. So nice. I definitely am old enough to be probably I don't even know how many people we have anymore in their 20s.
I feel like
a growing amount.
Yeah.
It is a growing amount. Yeah.
The new member, like our mean, median, and mode, the average age is going down, not up, I feel.
Yeah, no, you're correct. And then in that other Discord, we were talking about the Massnomics crew, and these young guys were just like, oh, what is it about? And then like me, Big Mofo, Kevin, Nate, and Matt, and I want to say Jake, we're all like trying to sell the Discord, and I don't think any of us clued in that these are just young guys. But they're dads, right? So they're like interested in some of the same stuff. But it was just the one guy was like, well, I kind of feel like I'm betraying 2 white lights. And I was just like, like, did you have kids when you were 18? Like, what are you doing here?
Right.
But it is definitely there's just like a thing about that. The crew is definitely getting younger, and that's fine. That's fine. It's literally fine.
I feel like I definitely embrace it, and I feel like it's fun that the younger kids can actually talk to me, and it's cool, I guess. Or I actually, speaking of photography, I took some senior pictures of this kid last year, and we were just chatting. We were on his property, so he's driving us around to different spots that I could take pictures of him. And we got on the subject of Discord, and I said, "Oh, I'm in Discord," and he's like, "What?" He goes, "My mom doesn't even barely know how to turn on the computer, let alone know what Discord is." So I like got total bonus points for being pretty cool old lady for being on Discord.
That's the Massonomics bump. You got the Massonomics bump on that one.
But actually, I was on Discord before, because if I wanted to get my son's attention, so I had a Discord account before, because if I needed to tell him it was time for dinner, or I needed him to do something, take out the trash, I'd just shoot him an IM on Discord. So there you go.
That's so smart. I want to talk. Go ahead.
Yep. I just making a quick little observant. Like, I feel like I'm on Discord more than probably equal amount of Instagram, but definitely more than Facebook. And like, I only open TikTok like once a month, but like Discord is slowly becoming like it's just, because I'm in a few other ones that are nowhere near as active as ours, but it's
ours is very active.
Yeah, there's I mean, I could. If you, who was it the other day that said something to the extent of like, what would take longer, reading every comment ever posted in the Massonomic Discord, or listening to every minute of the backlog of the podcast? And I think Nate might have even chimed in with how many minutes it was.
I was going to say some fucking nerd, but it was it was Nate.
It was our fucking nerd that produces our podcast out of the goodness of his heart. Thanks, buddy.
Our fucking nerd. Good call on Nate. And speaking of Nate and having Jen on this podcast, a lot of you don't know, but I always contribute a lot of what we do to Jen. For a lot of the beginning of this podcast, a lot of content came from you. Just you were always on top of the guests and sending us information and all that kind of stuff. So like, for some of you that don't know why we were so excited maybe to get Jen on this week, is she's the Massonomics crew mom or big sister, but like she's also the unpaid and underrated kind of like the best way to describe it is we had our core group of like 7 guys that like really got together to form the podcast. We let Jen in like after like 5 episodes into that core group, because we were just like, you're just contributing more than any of us right now. So, I just want to throw that out there, like big thanks for that. Cause like, that's part of why I was excited to get you on here, just to like, you earned it. Like you needed to be on this a lot sooner. So I'm happy we got you on finally. Only took episode 72 or whatever we're doing right now. Like, I don't know where we're at right now.
Yeah. I like that. It's branching me out. So I do have a pretty small circle because trust issues, but I have a small circle. But Discord branches me out. And so I love if I know the guest really well, I definitely want to contribute. But I am like hardcore listen every Tuesday right when it comes out, because I want to hear about everybody. And it does stink sometimes that they're a longer podcast, but I unfortunately would like them to be longer just to hear more things about the crew.
And sometimes we got to cut it off. Like I think it was this waffle iron. I was like, dude, we got to stop right now.
He was a good one.
It's been 3 hours. Like we got to stop.
Like I gotta go to bed. Like we can get you on next year and like just finish this. But so you're saying you're kind of a small circle person. So how was the Live Hard Live Easy as far as just you met 40 different crew members, give or take, and like are you a lot more interactive with them on Instagram and social media and whatnot now, or?
I feel like I'm okay on Instagram and Discord being, I was probably more so a little bit nervous at the actual meet, like how it would go. And it turned out, obviously it was just a walking Discord and walking Instagram. So it was fine.
Exactly.
But yeah, I feel like I do connect with a lot of people, and I do, lots of DMs, and I like looking at even their videos of their kids or whatever, their significant others, whatever it is. I love it so much. And I love that I got to meet a lot of them in real life. And I'm so excited that they're making the strongman and the meet bigger so that I can meet even more of them. I'm so excited. And I gave everyone a hug. So I'm excited to give even more hugs next year.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I think we're definitely all looking forward to next year for sure. There's gonna be 110 plus of us potentially.
I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous.
At least means 80 crew probably.
And like,
hopefully.
I talk about how hard it was to meet people last time. Like, we're gonna have to have an unpaid and underrated booth at this point, and just people can like, it has to be like constantly manned by me, you, Jen, like Scance and Nate, and it's just like, just come meet one of us, like just come talk to us so that we can make sure we get to everybody. And I know that's kind of arrogant to say, but like, I kind of feel that's the only way I'm gonna get to meet everybody.
I know it is hard, and it does go fast. So we'll have to I think this year though, even though there are more people, it'll be even easier though to socialize and do all that. So I'm excited. I see Big Jeff sometimes online, but I'm excited to meet him in person, and Toby and some of the Davids. Yeah, I'm hopefully Nate can make it. Yeah, there's a lot that I'm excited. And Scott.
Yeah, Big Hot better show up. Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he seems very excited. So if all this sounds like something you guys want to get in on, if you're listening to this and you haven't seen it yet, Tuesday, November 14th. So
shut up. What do you do? Don't tell people. There's only 90 spots, Keith.
Well, you said it'll be fine.
It will be fine for me and you. For me and you, if you shut the hell up about it.
So yeah, if you're listening to this, that's
shut up, be quiet, easy closed, classic.
You know, yeah. Here I was trying to support because I was trying to be optimistic, thinking that
teasing.
No, but you know, if you're listening to this, you should have signed up already, or you're probably not going to get a spot.
Yeah, that comes out the day this comes out.
Yep, just a couple hours after. So.
Oh, I would love if somebody's listening to this and they don't know and they're like scrambling. They're like, what time? I'll tell you what time. Shut up o'clock. Yeah. If you didn't get on, you didn't get on.
I want Big Murph to come so bad that I'm willing to sign up for her.
I know.
Like, dude, give me your stuff. I'm signing you up.
It wouldn't be the same without her.
Right.
I want to ask you about a good marching band performance. Tell me about your favorite. Because same. It's such a weird thing for me. Like, you're scrolling, and there's like, I think the most recent one was the Bluey one, where they did the Bluey theme and they did the marching band performance. And like, I'm riveted. It's like, I don't listen to marching band music.
I don't watch anybody but my sons, but so the school that he goes to, it's absolutely insane. So where we went to school, when I grew up, it was cool to be in sports, but we did have a good jazz band, but marching band, like nobody went out for marching band. But at the school that my son goes to, it is cool to be in band. Like half the people on the homecoming court and King and Queen were in the marching band. It just blows my mind. But anyway, so my son is in a marching band. They do amazing. They win tons of awards. They've got a chance to go to the Rose Bowl. It's just so cool. But anyway, this year was they did 90s rap music. Oh my God, it was so amazing. And they did breakdancing and all kinds of stuff. So even just to go watch it, I totally geek out on this stuff. So it's gonna be hard to beat it next year. But I said that last year too, and they totally beat it this year. So hopefully the next 2 years they can really rock it out. I love it. Totally geek out. So neat. And my husband and I have zero musical talent. I'm not a bassist. My husband's not a bassist.
Whoa.
You're in the minority.
I am.
Yeah, we're going to start finding people that aren't bassist to interview on this.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know how my son got his musical talent, but he did.
I thought I heard somebody behind me. I mean,
It's
all
a
weirded out.
ghost. Do you have a candle on?
I always have a candle on every episode.
Nice. I meant to turn mine on, but I didn't.
Yeah, it's a thing I did like the first time because I was just like, man, my room kind of smells musty. And now humans love rituals. It's a thing, and we're gonna pretend that's not the word for it, but we all have rituals of some sort. And light the candle, blur the background, especially that candle. And they're not cheap. And I've given
What's
this
it
woman
smell like?
So it's called At Rest. So she does like gothic style candles. So this one is supposed to smell a bit like an like the incense that they use in churches during funerals.
Yeah.
So it's very earthy. It just reminds me actually of my grandma. So the first time I lit it, I almost cried a bit. And I turned to my wife and I was just like, so this is my forever scented candle. But because they're handmade artisan out of like Montreal, they're like $40 a pop. And I was like, so this woman's going to get a lot of my money because I'm going to light one every night whenever I have any free time.
Sounds great.
It is nice. That's Graveyard Wanderers. If you're from Canada, check them out. Graveyard Wanderers. They do really cool stuff. And she's got some sculpted candles. She did a witch shaped one that I got Morgan, and it smelled like apples. It was so cool. It smells so good. Oh, they're a bit creepy, but like gothic, right? Like nothing like monsters or anything, but like a witch, and like everything's a little like graveyard scented, cool stuff.
Cool.
So you would say that lighting a candle is kind of a rule for you, and that kind of segues into what I want to ask Jen about. You breaking the rules is a big no-no for you, huh? Just that's like a life moral thing you have. Just no rules.
Keith, don't get me started.
I like someone that's got sounds like you have a hard stance on that. Even like, I guess, okay, so I got to just shorten it. Is it only big stuff or like little things too? Like the smallest little minute, like don't walk the wrong way down a hallway, like little...
No, that shit bugs me too.
I'm just trying to, I don't want to make it such a broad question because it's just kind of, she can, if she doesn't want to.
Yeah, and then if she does break the rules, she's gonna run and jump in a bush and peek through the bushes and
yeah, there you go. You're 000. Some little girl is like traumatized by you saying that.
Probably. Or they never even remembered it and didn't even notice. And the mom,
her mom might have just been a fucking Karen.
But now I wake up every night thinking about it, and she's never gonna think about it. But now I have to think about it every night. That is the rule.
Yeah, I can't say that I don't ever not break the rules, because I mean, obviously if you're driving 5 over, I'm technically breaking the rules, but man, there's just certain shit that drives me insane. And my last boss was taking us out for coffee, and she did a K-turn. Do you guys know what a K-turn is? Like you have angled parking, but you cross the lane to get into the other side that you're on. So you normally, when you do angle parking, you're like, you turn right and you angle right into the parking spot. But in this case, she turned left, went across the lane, and then went into the other side. And I'm like, you cannot do that. And I freaked out. And she's like, why? And I'm like, she's like, nobody's around. But I'm like, but what if they were? Like, what if someone was in that car and just opened the door and now you just took off their door? Or what if they didn't see you and you're backing out because you're over here and they're doing this? And just certain things like drive me insane. I try, Keith, I've tried to like let it go. I know you have, how old are you again? 38?
Yeah, 38. Yep.
Okay. You have 8 more years to like calm the fuck down. Like, just let some things go. So there are times when things drive me absolutely insane, and I'm just holding it in and like, okay, that pisses me off, and I can't control everything or everybody, so I just gotta let it.
That's funny. Because I'm the same age as Keith, and I tell him that all the time. Calm the fuck down.
Like, it's the most unhelpful thing anyone's ever said to anyone in any situation in the world. All it does is just like chat my ass harder.
I know, and it's interesting because like, so I used to be the same way, just constantly anxious, constantly worried that I don't have control of the situation, and now I'm the guy that has to talk other people off the ledge. But it's because I have learned that I need my I need my 5 seconds to be rage about it in my head and be so mad. And then it's like, and then I can turn to you and go, dude, control what you can control. You can't control how they're talking to you, but you can control how you react to it. And suddenly I became that guy. And like even my team will text me and they'll be like, thank you so much for talking me off of that. And it's just so funny that I'm suddenly that guy. But it's interesting because Jen, I'm the same way, but I only get mad when you break rules that affect everybody. Like I think
gosh, yeah.
Whose episode was that we called the public sphere? I only get annoyed if you're breaking rules that affect the people around you. If you want to drive 200 kilometers an hour down a road where nobody lives and nobody is, go ahead. 200 kilometers? Yeah, it's
like 160.
Yeah, it's really fast actually. But like,
it's a lot.
If the only person you're going to kill is yourself, have fun, right? Go figure it out.
But
like,
but what if someone steps out?
Well, that's the idea. Is in my hypothetical scenario, there's nobody around. If it's a highway, like in Canada, we have just highways through the forest. There shouldn't be humans. So if you're going to speed, go ahead. The most you're going to do is hit a deer.
What if they hit a bear or a moose?
That'll demolish their car, and they will hurt themselves.
And the poor moose.
So
yeah, no, I'm a gen on that.
No
matter what selfish move you do, you're affecting some other things.
Although I was
what if I'm driving fast and hit a mosquito? Like drive to South Dakota.
If you're in Aberdeen, you fucking sure will.
So I am the same way. But the other day, this dude just was driving like a fucking nightmare, and he almost hit the truck in front of me. Then he almost hit me. Then he like brake checked the transport truck like some reason, and it's like, come on, like that's when I get annoyed about breaking rules. If the hallway to the washroom at my work is like the number one hated room for me, because it's where the lockers for the employees are. So the employees will be standing at their lockers, and then some dummy will just be shuffling to the washroom like they have nowhere else to be. And I'm like, I'm clearly on a mission because I'm going to the only place at the end of this hallway. I'm going to the washroom. Why are none of you acting like this is an important place to be? Why are you checking your watch, blocking the hallway to the washroom? So,
is washroom a Canadian? Like, I know it's a term.
Just fucking water closet. You know what it is?
I just it's
the oot hoos. You want to call it the oot hoos?
I don't know if it's a Joey thing, a Canadian thing, or just a.
It's a Canadian thing.
I don't. Okay.
Washroom's a Canadian. What do you guys call it?
A
bathroom.
Shitter, I don't know. Do you guys take a lot of baths in the Costco washrooms?
Yeah, sure. Right after I grab my chicken bake.
You know what? I've seen it. So why are you brushing your teeth at the Costco washroom? That's weird.
But so do you call it a washroom because you wash your hands? Why don't you call it a pee room or a poop room?
Yeah, I call it the shitter. So you do shit. Mm.
Yeah, that explains a lot. I don't know, because you just don't.
It's more politically correct. I get it. Like
you're washing.
To me, it's like
you wash your hands.
Sometimes restroom.
Yeah,
restroom. Yeah, restroom is pretty. But like if you were to say restroom in casual conversation, like I don't care what part of that North America you're in, people are gonna go, "The fuck's wrong with you?" It's like if I was to say it, like I joked about water closet. If I said water closet in casual conversation, people are gonna be like, "Yeah, okay, hipster." Like we get old timey language. Like,
but is a water closet just a toilet and a sink? Like maybe
like was water closet a half bath? I'm guessing.
I feel like it's just what they would have called washrooms when they first had indoor plumbing.
Ish.
Because like that's the closet where the water is. Like
that's where you wash.
You wash.
Wash.
So Jen, I got one for you here. I know we kind of touched on how when you're going to your local powerlifting meets, you're only really competitive with yourself, not other people, because you already know that the bar is already, that you're already not going to beat them unless someone has a catastrophic injury or something. So that's not necessarily the same thing when you're running 5Ks. I hear you're extremely competitive with your 5Ks to the point that you're even going to like look at the women running with you and be like, she's about my age. If I beat her, I win my class. Is that a thing that is accurate, or is someone blowing smoke up her ass?
I would say that was a thing.
Okay.
So
not anymore though.
Yeah. I'd say my I don't know, I guess my lifting journey or fitness journey started after I had my son, and about that same time I got my first desk job. So instantly I went from being on my feet all day long in manufacturing, and then boom, I'm sitting down all day, and I gained 10 pounds right away. So I started working with a trainer, and so she had me lift weights, but at the end she'd always make me do like 20 minutes of minute on, minute off, minute on, minute off, kind of like a HIIT workout.
Yeah.
And I got pretty good at running. And I told her one day, I'm like, someday I'm gonna run a 5K around 20 minutes. And she's like, okay. Like, she's like, you realize that's really freaking fast. I'm like, oh, well, I didn't know that it was fast, but yeah, so then I got to the point where I started doing 5Ks all the time. And I still was doing kind of a little bit of lifting, but it was just like gym bro stuff. But then I was running quite a bit. And yeah, every time I'd sign up for a 5K, I had to make sure that at least in my age group, if not better, I was beating whoever was there. And they used to give me shit. Like, so Jen would run with me a lot. She's a huge runner. She's run marathons and stuff, but she would give me shit that I'd be like, every time I'd go, I'm like, oh, I'm not feeling it today. Well, like, I'm too scared. I don't know. I don't think I'll do very good. And then like blow her out of the water, or blow whoever out of the water. Yeah. So anyway, my career did start as running and quickly became, now I don't even think I could run a mile without my knees hurting.
So how did you find you're an active powerlifter then? So how did that come about? You went from just doing some personal training stuff to then you said you got into hybrid. How'd you find powerlifting?
Yeah, actually, I did Ashley Horner workouts for, I don't even know if you know her. She's just an
The name's familiar, but I
Instagram
place
influencer. Yeah. I do a lot of her workouts, and then yeah, when I found hybrid, that I picked the powerlifting. They had several programs, but I picked the powerlifting one because it kind of sounded good. And then did that for quite some time, actually. And then I finally decided that, hey, I kind of want to get into this after getting on Instagram and following Massonomics and like kind of starting to understand more what powerlifting really was. Then I'm like, oh, that would be a good way for me to challenge myself, like get some of that competitiveness out of my system, and have something to work towards instead of just randomly doing whatever I was doing in the gym. So I reached out and actually did get a coach, and so he helped me through my first meet, and I was with him for my second meet. And then I just decided, like I said before, like I have really strong women in my area. So I just decided I'm not going to be winning money. I'm not going to do any of this stuff. So I just decided to move over to Juggernaut, and I've been I did that for prep up until Lift Hard, Live Easy. And I've been doing it since. So yeah, I really I like Jug AI. So that's kind of how it all started.
I feel like you guys are now there's several of you guys that do the Juggernaut. Do you guys have is there a private chat or anything for all the Massonomics Jugheads? Or
nope, it's the Get Strong chat.
Okay, so is that the one on Facebook or because
I'm not on Facebook.
Well, you're not, but there is a Facebook associated with it. I think that's like part of the membership. You get like a big Facebook group. I just didn't know if you guys are ever, well, if Jen's ever in there, just like, oh, I recognize you and you and you.
No, I don't get on Facebook I do have it mostly for invitations. I like being able to see events in your town. And I also, when we throw parties, that's how we send the invitation out, is through Facebook. So I don't really actively look at it, and I'm not on Jug AI's Facebook page, but I did it when Hybrid had it. Like if I really wanted to post a video, they would look at your video and kind of critique your form and stuff, but I've never really done it for Jug.
No, Facebook's for fucking chumps.
I would honestly, I get upset, so I can't do it. And you were talking earlier, Keith, about like how much time you're on Discord and Instagram.
Yeah.
Like I love Instagram, but the fucking algorithm is like so fucked now. Like the people I want to see, I don't get to see.
No.
Yeah.
I'm like, What the hell? I am in Discord more, I think.
Yep. If I follow somebody, suddenly that's all I see. And I'm like, come on, like I followed you because you posted a funny thing, Massnomics related, and now my entire feed is you.
But even if I would block every single person I don't want to see and only make everybody like my close friends, I still feel like I just see nothing but ads. It's so frustrating.
Yeah, it's definitely all sounds the same for sure.
Yep.
What about I think one thing that anyone listening that follows Jen has been enjoying her weekly outfit polls. Is that something that you're it's just kind of came to you? It's like, what well, because I think it was because you were working from home solely and then you started to go back into the office, right? So it's basically you have to like you were going from gym clothes and sweatpants to like, oh, I have to wear like casual clothes again. Like, how do I dress for an office setting?
Oh, it was tough going from working from home full time back to the office. And I'm back to those following the rule shit. Like, we were getting everything done at home. So why the fuck do we need to go back into the office? Don't even get me going on that.
I know the reason.
Frustrating.
Yeah. Well, I think what he's getting at here is, he just deleted something. Okay.
Oh, there's just a bunch that.
But I was getting into the crew questions because we had a series of questions from crew.
Oh, got it. Okay.
And that was one of the ones you just deleted.
Wait, I do want to say something. I have made several friends doing the outfit thing. Like, the comments I get every week are so fun. Like Matt says we'll only vote for the ones when I'm wearing Vans. So certain people vote based on certain things, and so sometimes, like, if I tell them I'm not wearing my Vans, like, what are you going to vote for now, buddy? And so it's been really fun.
All right, I have a series of questions from crew. I'll ask a couple. I'm sure Keith will chime in at some point.
Okay.
So FMK, obviously, because they love to give us the FMK. They're easy. They're the haikus of crew questions. Cheers, Friends, or Seinfeld?
Cheers, Friends, Seinfeld. This is super easy. So Friends can die.
Correct. I love that.
R.I.P. What's his face? Chandler.
Yeah, R.I.P. What's his face? Doesn't even know his real name. Really heartfelt tribute there, Keith.
R.I.P. Matthew Perry. No, I had to tell my wife about that one because she was like a really big Friends fan, and she was like, "Oh fuck!" She she got up to go to the bathroom or something. I was like, "Did you see this?" She was like, "Oh shit."
Okay, so kill Friends. I'm gonna say fuck Cheers, but that's tough because Cheers is a really, really good show. Like, if I probably could go back and watch that one again and probably appreciate it even more than I did when I was younger. But obviously I got to marry Seinfeld because there is not a situation in life that you cannot tie to a Seinfeld episode at all. Like, I've made so many friends along the way. Every department I worked in, I've had that one Seinfeld friend that I could connect with. I'm like, okay, you're my guy. Let's be friends.
You know what I think that the crew doesn't give enough credit to? Golden Girls.
Oh, I've watched that multiple times
too.
Golden Girls was so fucking ahead of its time. It was the shit that they say on Golden Girls. I'm like, oh my God, how are they saying that in the 80s?
Yep. That humor was next level, and it was a highly progressive television show, which some people might not care about, but just like the comedy itself and Estelle Getty alone like made that show.
It was so good.
Yeah. So I think that like we all chat about kind of those TV shows and how they influenced us. I think there's a lot of people in the crew that either are influenced or would enjoy Golden Girls.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Based on the way they talk to each other. Yeah. Based on the way they talk to each other, the insults, the quick wit. Yeah. I feel like we don't give that one enough love.
I was also a huge Will and Grace fan too, so I would take that hands down over Friends any day. And they always had good, like Jack and Karen on Will and Grace were two of the best characters, and the banter that they had back and forth. Man, I love good banter, and that's I think why I love Letterkenny and
I was
Shorzy
thinking
so
of the
much.
same thing. Yeah,
it's just the banter,
and that's because it's people trying to make each other laugh rather than trying to make the audience laugh. Right?
Yes, I love it,
and that makes comedy way more interesting.
For sure.
Oh, we lost Keith. Keith glitched for a second. Come back, buddy. Come back.
I didn't go anywhere. God damn it!
He's just sleepy.
You didn't freeze. I
We're
didn't freeze.
all
I'm
sleepy.
He just likes to throw that in because my Wi-Fi has been great the last
No, that had nothing to do with your Wi-Fi. You just looked really like bored.
Oh no!
And your one eye closed a little bit, and you were just like,
I'm tired.
I lost Robot Keith for a second.
Hey, I'm alive and well. I'm here.
All right. So is it too soon to say that you are a true OG if you remember Get Fit Gen? And how long until Get Strong Gen is Stay Strong Gen?
Ooh.
Now, was that from you, Keith, or was that from someone?
No, I don't always add.
Okay. It's okay. No, you biffed it. That's right. No, I got it. That's also true. That's also
I'm taking
true.
I'm gonna take a week off, and you have to do all the show notes one week.
There will be no show notes, and I will still have fun.
You will. It's just slightly less organized.
You will sit there very annoyed and confused, and me and the guest will just shoot the shit for 2 hours.
Oh shoot! Now I forgot the question.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Get fit, stay strong.
Yes. It started at Get Fit Gen, and then I'm like, screw this. I need to get Strong Gen. Did you guys have the question about when you would stop caring about PRs and things?
Yep.
Maybe if I get to a certain age, maybe it'll get to Stay Strong Gen, I think. But right now, I'm still able to hit PRs, and I still feel really good. So why not keep going? Because I'm not hurting anything. But eventually if I get there. But also, like, just talking about the women, there's a woman in my area that has broke many all-time world records, and she's well in her 60s. So I aspire to be her.
I never thought about it like that. In just a quick story, because you and I don't talk enough. So there was somebody at work the other day. They were talking about how they used to lift, right? I think it came up, and they were like, at what point are you going to stop? And I was like, well, never.
No.
Because when I'm 60 or 70, getting off the toilet is going to be important. Right? Being able to pick up my groceries without help is going to be important. And I never really looked at it, but the way you just said it is the get strong, stay strong, and use your strength is like kind of the perpetual of your life. The get strong, the stay strong, and then, in your late age, you're going to use your strength.
Yeah.
That's really fun. I never thought about it that way.
It's going to help. It's going to help you. Yeah. I'm probably obviously, if I get to the point where it starts to be a negative effect, I'll probably back down and just continue to lift. But I am a big proponent of people who lift, and I think that it's going to help you when you age. And I've seen it firsthand, unfortunately, in some cases. And I don't want to be like that. I don't want my son to have to be the one that's picking me up off of the floor because I can't do it myself.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And, Steve said that too one day. He's like, one day I'm going to stop lifting heavy. And I was like, one day I'm going to stop lifting heavy, but like, that's relative. I might stop chasing PRs at some point.
Yes.
But I'm still going to be lifting more than the guy next to me.
For sure.
At some point in the nursing home gym.
And there's always variations. People are so hung up on like, I have to straight bar squat, bench, and deadlift.
Yeah, no.
Matter. Well, that's all I can. Like, no, dude. Like, when I'm fucking 70, I doubt I'm gonna use a straight bar anymore. It's gonna be all SSB and Duffalo and neutral grip bars and fucking and that's even if I'm doing barbell. My goal would be to be doing some barbell variations my entire life, but
CrossFit.
Like. It doesn't have to be a fucking a powerlifting barbell. It can literally, I might get a Mars bar, at some point. Like there's so many different tools you can use.
For sure. Yeah.
Or just go to Planet Fitness and do something. But like, yeah,
But honestly, like half my good friends on Instagram are women who are older than I am, so 50 and beyond, or just people that I don't even know that I follow just because it gives me motivation that, well, there's no reason why I can't still be lifting at some point in my 70s too. I want that to be my life.
For me, the goal is to be completely effed up with Alzheimer's and dementia, but also too strong to stop.
Like, why am I here again?
But it's also me just walking through doors, just like Grandpa, you have to sit down. You can't tell me what to do, and just throwing children because I'm all messed up.
I never thought about that because, like, with dementia, like, you forget, like, you know, for example, you might forget your last 20 years. You remember shit from your like 20s and 30s. So like, you're still gonna remember fucking lifting, like, potentially. So you're gonna be like, I have to fucking do push-ups. Like, I just shit my pants, but I have to do push-ups. Like, I don't know. It's really sad to think about. But if you train for fucking 50 years, by the time you're 70, 80, 90, and whatever, like, you start losing your mental faculties. Like, the training should still be there at like the very deepest core of your memory.
They're trying to walk me back to the room, but like it takes 4 of them. Anyway,
what did I have on? Oh, speaking of just you know, your Instagram and everything, Big Orange Glaze wanted to just tell you that he really enjoyed making your hype video. Keep up the badass work.
Yeah, he's awesome. And I was so happy to see my video. I loved it. He made me he made a lot of us look a lot cooler than we are in real life.
He did. Yeah, he did.
He did well with that. He had another one, but I'm not sure if it was a joke or not, because I'm pretty sure we all know the answer. But are they sumo or he sumo versus conventional was the way he worded it. So, but I thought you were pretty much sumo always, weren't you? Or am I misremembering?
I am. I was. So he probably dug in and probably saw a lot of conventional, because I actually have lifted as heavy conventional as I am now getting up to sumo. I was born with a little bit of back issue and it gets flared up sometimes. So I finally got smart, switched to sumo, and don't give a shit what people think about it, because it still allows me to lift without pain. So ultimately that's why I went to, I think I probably I have the leverages to be better at conventional, but because of what's going on, I just do sumo just so I can keep going.
No, it makes sense for sure. I think no one can fault you for that. Do you ever mix in conventional?
I do.
Like really okay.
Jug has you do it typically in your hypertrophy phase. So, but I always am careful and make sure that I don't do anything too heavy. But yeah, I've actually saw pretty good progress
awesome.
the last time, but I never want to push it.
No, that's smart.
So it is hypertrophy.
Hypertrophy.
Keith, how do you say it?
Hypertrophy.
Okay. So we're all in agreement.
Some other people say it. What's
hypertrophy?
Yeah. I hear fucking people say hypertrophy, and I think of someone with like fucking ADHD giving someone a trophy, and I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? That's not a fucking word. That's like a sentence. I don't understand it.
Yeah.
Hypertrophy.
Okay.
That's
hypertrophy. Yeah. Because it sounds more scientific when you say hypertrophy.
Yes.
Hypertrophy. They start calling it hypertrophy just to mess with humans.
We could be wrong, and it is the
We're
other
never
way,
wrong.
but I don't know.
We're the
I can't say it the other way.
Yeah, it's not a word. I don't get
it. So we want to know who's more Midwest, you or Ryan?
Angry monkey.
I think I am, hands down.
I kind of agree.
He gets to travel a lot for work, so he's, you know, and he loves the yelly screamy music. The yelly screamy music.
He does. He really does.
So like all those things, and I don't know. I feel, and also he's from a bigger city, so I shouldn't say city. That's putting it like
bigger town.
Yeah, bigger town. But so I grew up in a town of 1,000 people, and he grew up in a smaller town. I think Marion's smaller, but he's so close to Cedar Rapids, which is like, I don't know, 80 to 100,000 people, and I had to drive an hour and a half to get to a town that size. So I feel like I'm definitely more more Midwest than he is. He's a big city Midwest.
You definitely have more of a Midwest accent than he does.
Oh,
For
sweet.
sure. For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not a bad thing. Don't get self-conscious. Just
His voice,
definitely.
he has a deeper voice too, though, so it's harder. Like
What?
he's a very what?
What's happening?
It doesn't hide. Liam Neeson has a deeper voice too, but his accent is more obviously portrayed.
I know. Yeah. I don't know. It's just
I see.
Just his braces.
Like if you have a more gravelly, deeper voice, it's harder to like really get an accent maybe versus.
Nope.
He's also super shy.
Sometimes I say, yeah.
You don't
he says like,
accent.
fucking 3 words.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love Ryan.
He's a great guy.
He's great.
He's got to clean out his fucking garage though. That's killing me.
I do love Ryan so much, but
he's got to get to that squat rack.
It gives me so much anxiety. I want to come clean it for him.
Do you remember? And it was funny because I forgot until they brought it up on the podcast when we all climbed into, it was your or Jen's van.
I don't have a van. It's not a fucking van. It's an SUV.
Okay.
Don't even go there.
Yeah, after 18 hours of drinking at the Live Hard, Live Easy, it was a van. And he's sitting.
Does not have sliding doors.
Yeah, it did not. And he's sitting there, and like I think I was in the thing behind him. You were I think you were shotgun, or other Jen was shotgun. And he was just sitting there, and he couldn't figure it out. And
the push start, right?
Oh my god, it was one of the funniest things in the world because we're all just so confused why we're not going yet. And I yelled at him, I think, or you
which
did.
Really confuses me because why, don't you have to push the brake down anytime you start a car? Or is that not the case?
No, I don't think you do.
Or you have to have the steering wheel,
No, I haven't driven anything with a key in.
No, because I still have an old, my car's 2007, and I'll get in through the passenger if I'm just dropping my lunch pail off and starting it up from the passenger side. I'll do that sometimes.
It does have to be in park though.
It's got to be in park.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess back to following the rules. I guess I was taught that you need to have the brake on when you start it because there's always a chance that it could jump forward.
But yeah, it was just so funny, just all of us just yelling at him. Can you fucking what are you doing? Oh, poor Ryan.
And just so everyone knows that we just talked about 2 separate Ryans in the span of 30 seconds.
Nope, that was all the same Ryan.
Oh, all the same Ryan.
What? Oh, I thought it was. Why did I think it was Jack and Ginger that was the one driving the car? Okay, never mind. My bad.
No, it was definitely Monkey.
Nope, he stayed.
That all comes back. Yeah, that makes sense now. That all tracks. I got you.
Yeah, took us back to the hotel where we continued to drink way much more.
You guys were still drinking when I was freaking getting up to go to the damn airport.
Yeah, probably. So Keith, you got another question on there.
Yeah, well, can round this out. So this may or may not become a recurring question. Big Jen, what is your favorite movie?
Who can?
No. You don't have
currently. What's your current favorite movie?
That's fine. It's you have druthers. However you want to answer it, I don't care.
Dude, okay, so I'm not gonna say one of my favorite movies because you're gonna fuck up my end of the question.
Okay, that's fine. We're good. Moving on.
I will say I have a handful of movies that I frigging love.
Okay, well, give me 3 that are really, really good.
I love Young Frankenstein. I can watch that over and over.
I want to glaze this. Funny. Give me a second.
I don't know what that even is, unless it's the one with the little dog, or that's Frank and Weenie. I don't.
Jesus Christ!
I don't know. But I just made her sake. I made her so bad. I don't know. Is this a 1960s movie? I don't know.
It's like a Mel Brooks.
You want to get striked?
I don't know.
Oh damn! But okay?
What was the website? What's your website? Is it Glaze?
If you search in the Discord, I
search.
Yeah, right? You can find it.
I definitely haven't rated that because I've never seen it. So,
but I love Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah, I like that's a good movie.
Those are so different movies.
No, I know. I'm probably I'd say Silence of the Lambs was 7 out of 10. I could guess that's what I rated it.
I feel like I'm either loving comedies or I'm loving thrillers like Silence of the Lambs, like 7. Or
Young Frankenstein.
I just figure the whole reason I was debating on this being like a reoccurring segment, just asking someone a different movie, because like answer it however you want. You could give me 5, you can give me 1. Everyone's giving me so much shit about movies. I want to hear other people's fucking opinions on movies, and like
Sure.
because I like maybe I'll judge you guys on your fucking movies. I don't know. But I just
it's so hard to do, though.
Did you try and create a whole segment for the sole purpose of revenge?
No, but I literally
don't let him fucking lie. He did.
Is that what just happened?
I think at the time I was just like looking through the notes. And I was like, I don't know how much we got here. Let me throw in an extra thing because I wanted to basically ask a question. So I don't know.
Oh, I do see your point though, Keith. Like, I want people to watch certain movies that just cracked me the hell up, and they don't have the time or can't, and I'm like, oh, you guys are missing out. I want you to watch things so bad. I've said Stuber like 3 times in the Discord, and nobody will either watch it or know what it is.
Stuber's the Adam Sandler Halloween one, right?
No, isn't that
no.
I'm not the only one.
It's a wrestler one.
Yeah, Stuber is the one then with.
It's a Indian comedian. I can't think of his name.
Kinjal something. And
I think
Batista.
You mentioned that. I think
Batista. I've seen Stuber. It was great.
Yes. Oh, it made me laugh.
I think I added it to my watch list actually.
I love it. Now you have to add Young Frankenstein. See, I want to see.
That's a classic.
It's so good.
And
Gene Wilder. Tommy brought up with the chicken. What he brought up the Don Knotts movie with the.
He had said that. I have. I wanted to Google it to actually see if it was a real thing.
That's fucking insane that he brought that up. I know about it, but I've never seen it.
Mr. I can't even think of the name of it right now, but I have seen it, and it made me giggle that he thought it was scary.
Well, he also wasn't sure if he was even remembering that if it was a thing or not, too. That was the funny part. Because he was like, this might not be a thing, but if it is, this is kind of hilarious. I got a kick out of that. So
yeah.
So Keith. So Young Frankenstein. Gene Wilder plays Frankenstein.
Yeah, I got you. So it's comedy. Yeah, the guy from.
It has 94% on Rotten Tomatoes, 8 out of 10 on IMDb. And I'm just, for some reason, drawing a blank on the director, but it's it's Mel Brooks.
Yeah, it's Mel Brooks. Oh, yeah.
I give it a shot.
I can't say you'll love it because you have shitty taste in movies, but you might like this one.
It's a lot of, it's such
I don't like humor. This segment already.
I'm so happy you laughed at that because I was like, it's such a dig.
my self-inflicted punishment.
Yeah, I created a segment out of revenge, and now they're getting me for it. I told you. Like, what are you, Cody? No, what are you, Cody Zeke right now?
It's more curious. I when someone asks me my favorite movie, I have like 3 that I'll go to. Like they wrote these are my 3 movies that are.
Wait, I want to hear them.
Oh, it's The Crow, Life is a House, and Point Break. And I don't give a shit what anyone says. Those are all instrumental movies from my childhood. If I watch now, they might not be 10 out of 10, but they were. So
The Crow, I will watch once a year, maybe twice a year. Still have a bit of an issue with it because it is a revenge flick. But having read all the comics from James O'Barr, I love The Crow. It is a fridging movie or bridging, one of those 2 words, where they use sexual assault of a woman in order to make the male seem stronger. That is a thing they do in that movie. It is a thing they used to do in the 90s. It is hard to watch. I hate that part. But as a movie, it's a great movie. Can't find the second one.
Yeah, what was the second movie?
The Crow City of Angels.
Oh, sorry. I meant Keith.
No, but The Crow City of Angels is just not available.
Yeah,
Apple Music doesn't have it. Crave doesn't have it. I don't have it on DVD.
I can send you a streaming link. You just have to kill a bunch of pop-ups, and it's bootleg as fuck. But
maybe because I actually kind of remember liking that movie. And then there was another one where I think, God, who played?
There was like 5 of them. And they
all in all, I think
they got much worse.
Yes, they did. The third one was
a series
bad. Well, the series was fantastic.
Yeah, I gotta get back.
About to nerd out. Mark Dacascos played the Crow. It was filmed in Toronto. Jen's giving me a bit of a shake of the head. Did you watch the latest John Wick movie? John Wick 4.
Are you looking at me? Because no.
No, you haven't seen any of the John Wick movies. Okay, so
I have, but they're my husband and sons. That's their.
Okay.
That's their date night.
Same after the first.
So he was actually in John Wick 3, Mark Dacascos, and then he was in something else pretty big recently too. He's an older dude now.
Oh, he was in well, he was in the fucking martial arts show on HBO. He was like the buddy of the other gang. There's a lot of movies.
He was in Warrior.
Yeah, Warrior. Yeah,
yep.
He was. That was a fucking sad when they had the face off at the end, and they had to essentially like take out his like mentor. I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
TV's.
But nonetheless, we can.
Let's get off this segment.
Those are my three.
Okay, real quick. But Joey, like, yeah, the rape scenes, Sopranos. Oh my gosh, there's a rape scene in Sopranos that my husband and I still talk about. It was horrific. Yeah. I can't do it. Can't hear it. I can't.
No, but it's a common thing in movies, especially from back in that era, where it's just like you sacrifice the female to make the audience mad, so they get behind the protagonist. It's called bridging or fridging. If I can remember the fucking phrase, one day I'll get to it. There's another movie too. I'm not going to say the name. I can't even remember. I know her name. God, it's just right there. And it's one of the most brutal things in the world. I remember watching it just being the maddest I've ever been in my life. So there are just certain movies that you shouldn't watch. But The Crow unfortunately, it does have that in it. I still watch it every year.
I remember about The Crow is wasn't there whoever died? Someone died on set.
Yeah. Brandon Lee died. Yeah. Like the son of Bruce Lee.
I can show you the scene. Like, I know everything about that movie. And that soundtrack, speaking of Spooky Ryan joining us for a second here, that soundtrack was actually the introduction to goth and heavy metal music to an entire generation of young people. It had Nine Inch Nails, it had The Cure, it had Pantera, it had all of these heavy and some of these not heavy but gothic music that, like, there's an entire I think I once read like a 12-page essay on how this just like changed like the world of music for people of that era. And I'll agree, it introduced me to a lot of cool stuff.
I can listen to that yelly music because it's not as yelly.
No,
Pantera
me and Ryan listen to stuff like the joke Morgan says is like, you listen to goblin metal. Like, if it doesn't sound like a demon coming out of hell, you're not interested. And I'm like,
right. I want to be able to sing along. I want to hear the words.
Actually, that's a fun thing. I was listening to Slaughter to Prevail, and my mom was in the car. So Slaughter to Prevail this is just a funny story that anybody who listens to metal will laugh at. Sorry, guys, you're going to be bored for a second. And there's a Russian part where he sings in Russian, but in the deep, gravelly, like death metal voice. And my mom turns to me, she goes, "How do you listen to this shit? You can't understand him." No, she says, "How do you listen to this shit? I can't understand him." And I went, "Yeah, I don't speak Russian either." And she was like, "It's not what I fucking meant, you idiot." I thought that was the funniest because she just happened to say it right when he was speaking Russian throughout the rest of the English song. I thought that was really funny. Anyway.
Spooky Ryan keeps fucking with us.
Yeah, he's chatting. Who chats?
He's chatting us.
Okay, so just heads up, he says, Nesio Hoblakin has an actual goblin. Are you saying necro goblin?
I'm guessing this is Iowa Ryan, right? It has to be.
It's got to be. Yeah, sorry, necro goblin. Just come off mute, you psycho. Anyway, Necrogoblicon. Actually, I've never heard of Necrogoblicon. They don't have a real goblin. Goblins don't exist. It's got to be an orc.
You know what does exist? Our game, Unpaid or Underrated, that we are going to move into, so we can keep this under 3.5 hours for everyone who's
bullshit. This is Jen. Along. Let's go 3.5 hours.
No, I get it, but we still have like 45 minutes to go, so let's power through. Let's
Good thing I don't have to work tomorrow.
I do.
I wish I didn't. I have an office day, but I still got to go in.
I almost just accidentally left the meeting because I was trying to get rid of Ryan's comments.
Yeah, when shit pops up, I'm just like, stop. I don't want to look at that. So, Big Jen, you're familiar with Unpaid or Underrated. I'm assuming we don't need to go into the rules. You know what you're allowed to do, what you're not allowed to do, and at the end of the day, it's really all about the druthers. So, Unpaid or Underrated let's go with bar soap. What is your opinion on bar soap?
I think so. We had this on a main podcast, right? Not too long ago, or at least Tanner was talking about it, and Tanner and Tommy had this discussion.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go underrated because I don't know. It's easier to travel with. I think it's cheaper. And yeah, I just think it's underrated. I use it. My husband uses it. My son's the only one that's still using the actual body wash, but he'll get over it.
I hate body wash. I only buy bar soap, and now everybody's in the brick soap. And I'm so into that. It's just giant fucking bricks.
I just like that. I like the smell. I like it all. It's less wasteful. I try to be conscious of all those things, recycling and all that stuff. So it's just more environmentally friendly.
No, it makes sense. I only got had bar soap in a long time. Like, cause so like, well, I guess I'll dig into that one. Like, so I get you and your husband can share the same bar, but like, I guess, are you just lathering up like
what?
a washcloth with the soap?
No.
Okay, so you do have your own bars, because that was when you said like,
no.
I was like, does she want her son to use her own soap? I'm so confused. Like the people, like, so you have dedicated. This is his soap. This is her soap. This is my soap.
First of all, we have dedicated bathrooms, so him and my son have the other bathroom, and I have my bathroom.
There you go.
And they don't touch my soaps.
Well, I think historically that's
jams and jellies
out by bar soap is because like I'm not putting that bar of soap where you put it. Like, but I'm assuming people that would share would you just lather up the washcloth with it?
I don't think that people share, do they?
I don't know. I haven't used bar soap.
Is the argument is that you think your soap is dirty after someone uses it?
If you put your soap in your asshole and the next person puts the soap,
do you understand the concept of soap?
Dirty.
Do you understand what soap is?
And shit particles.
Do you understand what soap is?
Like it doesn't evaporate shit. Or Cooter Juice, like I don't like nothing like
Cooter Juice.
It's
oh my god.
Okay, I get. If we're solely talking like washing your arms, your feet, your chest, your legs, but like you're washing what are you using to wash your private parts?
Soap.
And like
because that's what
are you putting it on a washcloth, or are you like
so do you think
soap directly on your
so
genitals?
Do you think you like
giving it to your spouse and say put this on your face? Like
so do you think like if you wash your hands after using the bathroom?
I refuse to use bars of soap in a bathroom. That's disgusting because who knows what the other person did with it.
But you know, soap can't be dirty. It's soap.
But
it exists.
Someone who's extremely dirty hand touches it, and then just like it's inherently dirty.
They have dirty hands, and then what do? What do they do with the soap with their dirty hands?
Well, typically, yeah, they
fucking wash them,
and they're not washing the bar of soap.
Yes, you do.
Still contaminated.
It washes itself.
Not everyone.
It's soap. It's soap.
But I do agree with you.
I'm thinking more in like the construction zone, like greasy, dirty hands too. And there's like I can visually see shit still on the bar of soap.
I understand the mental aspect of what you're talking about, but the scientist part of me and the physical aspect of me doesn't see it. It's soap. Its dedicated purpose is clean things. So it cannot be dirty in its own self because all you have to do is then run it underwater because it will wash itself when you run it underwater.
Assuming that person does that.
No, you're going to do that. You're not just going to take a dry bar of soap and be like, I hope someone's ass wasn't on this and put it on your face.
I gotta take Keith's side that I don't like when people just have bar soap though to wash your hands in their bathroom. Like
all I use. It's all I use.
I don't know for some reason, but in the shower, that's what I use.
It's also what I use in the shower, but nobody uses my shit because it smells like rotting plants.
Right. Even if I did share with my husband, he would have to have his own bar.
Okay. Well,
so to harken back to Friends, they do have an episode that's talking about
exactly
what's the last thing that you wash and the first thing that I wash, and they're like, oh.
That's where I was kind of going with that as well, because that is kind of so yeah. Well, number 2 for me, I'm going to ask you about your husband's pillow. Is that unpaid or underrated?
my husband's pillow.
He told me there was I had like a whole like story about it, and I thought it was going to be witty and funny. It's like he gave you a pillow as a gift or something to be a smart ass.
Okay. So my husband had, I know what he's saying now. So my husband had a My Pillow. Have you heard of My Pillow? Wasn't it like what's his face selling it? The famous guy. Anyway, so he had a My Pillow, and I'm like, so he decided for Christmas one year, back to this gift thing, he got me a gift, and I opened it up, and it's a My Pillow, and I'm like, what in the hell is this shit? And secondly, it was the wrong size for the pillow cover that I had, so of course it like stuck out, and I was so angry. It almost caused a divorce that he got me a My Pillow. Fast forward.
That makes I got you.
So fast forward.
So not his pillow. Yeah.
Oh my God! Did he send you My Pillow and you wrote husband pillow?
Probably.
Hell yes. Hell yeah.
That's partially my mistake.
That's funny that he remembers it though.
No, but it definitely added a level of hilarity to this. This is great.
But then years pass, and I think he was gone, or he was on nights, and I used his pillow once. I'm like, oh, that is actually pretty nice. Giving him My Pillow. So we give each other shit about it.
Oh,
that's funny. So
I don't think you could have done that on purpose and made it funnier. That was fantastic, Keith.
So it is underrated. They are underrated. So if you don't have a My Pillow, I feel you should invest.
It doesn't even say your husband. It just says husband pillow.
Shut up, man. It's really hard to like copy and paste a bunch of shit.
Oh no,
it's a fucking pain in the ass.
You think I'm making fun of you, but I'm loving it. It is fantastic.
I got one thing for Jen. So we'll do a little side tangent here. Not a tangent, but are you so historically? Do people consider you hard to buy gifts for? Like in general, like is it just your husband that fucks up, or is everyone? Like, I think
my husband is a bad gift giver.
Okay. And then part two of that. Have you judged and disliked every crew gift from Tanner and Tommy? You know, you sound like you're so hard to please. Have you liked those at least?
No, because I think that I am the simplest person to buy for. Because honestly, if you would just take me out to dinner or take me out to something that I didn't have to plan, which my husband should freaking know that by now, I don't need a gift. So don't buy me whatever.
Presents over presents, right?
Or buy me something for the gym or something like that. It's not, I'm not complicated. I think he makes it too complicated.
Gotcha. Okay, so I will round out my last one here. Let's go with Barbies. I'm assuming I
guess let's see. Okay. They're okay, I know why this is on there because
I think I added this to my show notes like 6 months ago when under just like potential guests I would like keep a running thing. So I think you said something in Discord months ago, but I could be completely wrong. So
I would figure maybe it was my brother that said something.
I could have swore you said something in Discord that I latched onto of like, oh, this will be a good.
I don't know that I've ever talked about Barbies, but
maybe I'm making it up. I don't know.
If you guys haven't noticed, I'm a little bit tomboyish. So so I didn't like Barbies when people would buy me Barbies. So my brother and I actually had maybe.
Is that where the getting bad gifts originated from? Is getting a bunch of Barbies as a kid and being like, don't you know I don't like these?
Well, maybe. But my brother and I had like all the wrestling figurines. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So anytime anybody would buy us a Barbie, they would be like the ring girl or like their girlfriends or whatever. Yep. So I had tons of Barbies that either one didn't have any hair because I would cut all their hair off, or didn't have clothes, or but also the ones that I did keep their hair, I learned how to French braid on a Barbie, it's really tiny. So then anytime we would go to like softball games and stuff in high school, I'd braid all the girls' hair on the way to wherever we were gonna play the game that night.
Nice. Yeah.
So I guess I didn't even answer. So
yeah. So unpaid or unpaid or underrated?
I think obviously because Barbie can't be underrated. She is appropriately rated very high. So she has to be unpaid for me because I don't know. I don't need her.
No, that makes sense. I'm more than anything, I'm just kicking myself for like, where the fuck? Because I honestly think the bar of soap and Barbie that had been beside your name on my show notes for literal months, and like and I just threw them on there because I was like, this had to make sense at some point. But
yeah,
that's
I think I might have talked about how my brother and I use them for like the wrestlers' girlfriends and stuff.
That makes sense.
Well, and then I added barbells. So there was bar soap, Barbies, and barbells.
I do see that.
Yeah, but that's also just a good podcast name. So
yeah,
Keith can file that under all of his future podcast names.
For his future podcasts.
That was a funny meme. God, that was a really good meme. They got me good.
I guess I can take over for the last three as usual. All right. Okay, unpaid or underrated? Pumpkin spice.
Well, okay. I'm gonna have to say if I follow the rules, it's unpaid because it's so many people rate it so highly, and literally everything is pumpkin spice. Like your bar soap, your Downy sheet, your laundry detergent, your whatever is freaking pumpkin spice. Now, with that said, when it comes around every time, you better bet that I'm going to go get a pumpkin spice latte.
Damn right. Me too.
So it's so good. As soon as flavored anything is so good.
I open the Starbucks app and I'm like, oh, pumpkin spices are on. It's all fucking head down. Like it's a family outing because I want my pumpkin spice latte.
Yes, it is so delicious. So try a latte with pumpkin spice and white chocolate together. It's next level.
All right. I'm in. I don't like whipped cream.
No. It's not whipped cream.
No. I know. It's the
white chocolate flavoring.
My brain is trying to focus that much sweetener.
Well, then say half.
Half sweet.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a couple on here, and I just added one. I'm going to do the one I just added because it's probably going to flop. Unpaid or underrated? Slipknot.
Yeah, I probably don't know. I know some of their songs. I'm going to say they're probably underrated because I don't think that they're highly rated.
I think they're very highly rated.
And they're from, at least the lead singer's from Iowa, right?
The whole band's from Iowa. Well, the original band is from Iowa. That's kind of, and actually it's funny that Ryan's still here. He's probably, because I asked him the same question. I think he was also very like, I don't know. I don't really listen to them. It's like,
I don't really listen to him, but also
the only heavy metal band from Iowa.
Like, yeah. And but yeah, so they had to be underrated because of that reason, but also because there's just not a ton of famous people from Iowa. So for someone to make it big coming from a smaller city or whatever, good for them.
Right. Hell yeah. Oh, which one should I do here, Keith? We got a couple of them.
They were all relevant. They were all imported, essentially, I think.
Okay.
You didn't add any of those, right? So all those should have a story.
I'm going to go with this one. Okay. Unpaid or underrated? Tattoos with flowers in them.
I think... Shit, you guys got me on this one. I would say that all of my tattoos have... Okay, maybe not one of them, but most of my tattoos do have some sort of flower design in it. And I am back to the photography thing. I will be on my walks taking random pictures of random flowers in people's yard, and they probably like, what in the hell is she doing in my yard taking a picture of this flower? So love flowers. So I'm gonna maybe go off the rails here and not do it correctly, but I'm gonna say that it's underrated, even though I think every chick that has has a tattoo has some sort of flower somewhere.
Flowers are gorgeous.
And yes, but also they're probably highly rated, but I'm still going to say they're underrated. I love them. I got one of my good friends, and I wonder if she's the one that put it on there. Her and I went for her 40th birthday, and I got her a tattoo for her birthday. So that day I let her open it up, and I started driving there, and she opened up her car, and she's like, oh, "Are you shitting me?" And we went and got little tattoos together, little flowers. Cool. So I think we made an experience of it. So I think it's underrated.
Well, the good news is you've passed unpaid and underrated, but I have a follow-up.
Okay.
What's your favorite flower?
Tulip is my favorite.
Yep,
hibiscus.
I can see that.
Hibiscus is a close second because they're just so beautiful,
and so delicious.
I'm not a.
I don't
love eating flowers, but or lavender in my food or anything like that.
Okay. So that's fun. Did you know you can eat daylilies?
I didn't.
Oh, so my wife, actually for some reason found out you could, and she once made the fucking daylily like buds, and then she stuffed it with cream cheese and deep fried it in batter. So daylilies end up tasting like peppery.
Okay.
But they're fully edible. So you see, eating. I was like, I don't eat flowers, and she's like, you're about to, and it was amazing.
Well, isn't a squash technically a flower? Oh no, you can eat the flower on the squash, right?
Yeah. Also, she did those two once, stuffed. So
people ask me about the tulips because I'm from a city. We are a huge tourist city town, I guess, and our town is a little over 10,000. But during our tulip festival, it's a 3-day festival, and it 10 times we get hundreds of thousands of people in our town because we have the whole town is just filled with tulips, and it is not one of my favorite times a year. But I love it, a tulip, because it's just so simple. So a white classic tulip. So we get all the varieties here, but the white classic just tulip is so beautiful.
Well, you have Dutch Matt's attention because they have their big tulip festival.
I've chatted about it. Also Big Brad, he's from Holland, Michigan, and they also have a tulip festival. Not quite as cool as ours, but shout out Big Brad.
I'm partial to daffodils, but not because of the flower themselves, but because of what they signify.
Okay. I guess
spring is coming. Spring is coming. Winter is over. The daffodils are out. And it's just one of my favorite things, and they just smell delicious.
And the Mayflower is coming means that the mushrooms are coming. We go mushroom hunting a lot. We love it.
Oh yeah,
right. Foraging.
Big mushroom.
Yeah, I love mushrooms. Yeah, but foraging is kind of cool. But Mayflowers also bring pilgrims. Yep. All right, we're losing Keith here again.
I'm here.
Okay.
Let's go. I think the next segment is you get to ask us something.
Okay. All right. So I had a question prepared a long time ago when you guys started doing the Ask the Host questions. So I'm going to ask that, but I have a theme. So you'll just have to go with me. The one doesn't match the other theme, but I needed to.
we won't judge you if they don't match. It's not a.
Okay. So the one that I had from a long time ago is, if you could wake up tomorrow to be an expert at a new skill, what skill would you choose? And I'm going to say it can't be like some superhero crap. It has to be like a skill that a human can do. Whatever. I don't know. It could be.
No, I got you.
Yeah. You don't make I don't want you to fly or stuff like that. I want
guitar.
It to actually be a real skill. Yeah.
I wish I'd picked it up when I was younger, when I had the chance, when my brother was picking it up and he could have taught me. The guitar is the one thing I wish I had learned. If there was a skill I could plug into the back of my head and learn within seconds, it would be guitar.
Yeah, that's cool. I've had a couple of those instruments, so I like asking this question.
Yeah.
What do you think, Big Keith?
Something that could just, I guess I could pop out and be like something that I could turn around and make make $1 million a year out of, just by being an expert at one thing. I don't know what that one thing would be, but if I take that out of the equation, something I just want to be better at, I don't know. I could think about that all day.
or useful, like things that you pay for that you just wish you didn't have to pay for.
What if you just thought about being happy for a second?
Yeah.
And not just about rich or successful. Just being happy for a minute.
Something that would make you happy.
I don't know.
Or you didn't have to pay for something.
I guess I would say, like, I don't know. Just having I don't know, I'm not even rich, just like I wish I could provide more for my family. Like I'm like a jack of all. I basically know how to do a lot of things not well, but so like as far as like my career, I can't be an electrician, I can't be a plumber or anything like that because I'm not like licensed or like overly trained or skilled in anything. But so I'll just be stuck on general labor jobs for the rest of my life potentially. So I wish I had not fucked around in high school and college and actually like went into a trade where I could like be proud of how much money I bring home versus kind of just being like, oh, I guess I'll take whatever job I can find. So really anything, like any skill that I could have just been, skill. Yeah, any, because like I'm like light electrical. I do electrical every day, but it's not like I'm not a licensed electrician, so I can't like go out and make $50 an hour. So I'm stuck making what I'm making. So something like that, I guess, because I'd have to really. That's too deep of a question to be like, what for me to have an answer. No, for me it is. I don't like I don't like change. So that question gives me extreme anxiety.
Why couldn't you be a master electrician then? That would be your
there
skill.
You go. That's perfect.
Like why couldn't you be a master fucking cat petter? Like you just every like cat in the world loves you. Like you could have thought of anything to be happy.
Well, I probably would have had a different answer 2 hours ago. Everyone like when we get to these last segments, it's literally like 11:30, and I'm just like,
I'm sorry.
No. This has been one of the most fun podcasts ever. I'm not complaining. I'm just more giving an excuse of why I'm a stick in the mud more than usual.
I'll tell you what, my husband picked a seamstress to sew, like to be able to sew, and
that's a good one.
Yeah, he's like, that way I could hem my own pants. I could, if you wanted a shirt, you can be like, I'll just make you this shirt.
Yeah.
I picked, which we debated on this one, but I really wanted to be able to speak a second language. So I wish I could wake up tomorrow and be able to speak a second language, probably Spanish, because I have Spanish people that I work with. It'd be easy to.
I'll let you in on a quick hint. Spanish is probably the easiest one to learn.
Well, yes. And I did take several classes when I was in high school, and my son's
they don't hide anything. Like,
right.
In English, we have so many rules and everything's different. In Spanish, it's like if it's there, you pronounce it, go.
Also, I feel like it would like be a stepping stone to learn others.
Yes, because then you can go to French and Latin.
Yeah. Okay, so now it's my theme. So since we're getting so close to sorry, Joey, I know you already had Thanksgiving, but like our holiday season, I know you're getting ready for Black Friday and Christmas. So Thanksgiving is probably one of my favorite holidays just because it's family and food. You don't have to worry about damn gifts. But I do like the whole season of Christmas because it's so fun and pretty and there's all a bunch of traditions. So let's start with the one that you kind of already hinted at, but what's your favorite holiday movie? And it doesn't have to be for Thanksgiving or Christmas, but your favorite holiday movie.
Nightmare Before Christmas for me. Okay. I hate musicals and I don't really enjoy animated movies, but it's a classic and my kid is now into it.
Yeah, my son loves it.
Yeah, it would be that one for sure. Jingle All the Way is up there.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a good. It's a good Arnie movie. It's a good action movie. It's a good funny movie.
It's funny.
But yeah, that would be those two.
What about you, Keith?
I guess I like Scrooged. That was a decent one.
Scrooge is good.
Yeah, that was definitely like more the person. I mean, like I'll watch a lot of them. I mean, I don't know. I always like. I can't think of the. There's one movie that's it's like a complete not a Christmas movie, like the background's Christmas. So it's kind of like, where do you draw the line of what's a Christmas movie? Does a Christmas movie have to be about the holiday and like
I didn't
the family
say
thing?
that it had to be Christmas. I was like, it could be any holiday.
Oh, that's true.
But like, what other holidays have movies? Like Valentine's Day, I'm sure has
you
movies.
Asked me my favorite movie. My favorite movie of all time is Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, and I watch it every single year. I freaking love that movie. But also, I love Groundhog Day. And I watch that almost every single year too. Like
call.
2 huge holiday movies that I love.
Are there any Easter movies that aren't like 3 hours long? They're all biblical, obviously, but is there any like actual like Hallmark Easter movies?
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, was it the Lifetime Channel and all that shit, or right, like a Hallmark thing?
I'm interested to know.
Yeah.
I think there was even like the original what's like the really famous "You'll Shoot Your Eye Out" movie. I can't think of the Christmas.
Yeah, Christmas Story. I watched that.
Christmas Story. I
too.
think there was like a shitty sequel that was about Easter. I mean, so like a really shitty. I could have swore there was. No, there was the sequel to Christmas Story that came out last year. I think that was actually the same actor. Like, and as like 60, that was a pretty shitty movie, but it was still somewhat nostalgic. But I could have swore they did like an Easter one that kind of bombed, but
I don't remember.
Completely mistaken. But
you probably are. You're probably thinking of when he was a bunny.
Oh yeah, honestly, yeah, good call. That is 100%. I think where I went with that.
Okay, well, okay. I know it's getting late, so I gotta. Okay,
no, don't. I'm the problem, not you.
What's your favorite holiday food then?
Stuffing. Thanksgiving stuffing. Good moist Thanksgiving stuffing. 100%.
He's a moist.
He likes a good moist stuffing. Who doesn't?
I'm with you. That is, my dad will make just like a sausage stuffing. Oh my God, freaking love it. I'm a huge fan of mashed potatoes, but I'll eat mashed potatoes all the time. So, but stuffing I only get at the holiday. So love it.
Okay. So Malav is from an area called Chatham, Kent, which is kind of like Canadian, Native, and French. And they make a meat pie called a tourtière.
Okay.
And she does like modifications, like she does a different version.
Yep.
So it's usually meat pie, whatever meat. I encourage her to use bison as much as possible. But she's done everything from turkey to beef, chicken. But she'll add like
a pot pie.
Essentially a pot pie, but it's just a little different because it's a sweet meat pie. And oh, it's fantastic. Yeah,
I would try it. Obviously, I'm Chilean and Seminole fan, so I'd try it.
Yeah, and actually, I think you'd love it. But she's put pumpkin chunks in it. Every year she does. The past couple of years she's really into chestnuts, because she'll go. The store we go to does like just chestnuts, and she'll just crack them open, roast them, and throw them into the pie. So it's become tourtière because A, I love the shit out of my wife, and B, I love meat pies in general. So it would be the tourtière. So if you look up tourtière, it's spelled insane, TOURTIERE. Like it's ridiculous, but it would be that one.
Okay, I wrote it down. And Keith, by the way, do you eat stuffing or dressing?
It's stuffing. Who said like a dressing is a thing? So I think
stuffing like actually is supposedly supposed to come out of the inside.
Yeah, the stuffing has to come out of the turkey's ass.
So I like dressing.
Dressing is we make it like, off to the side. Like stovetop almost, right?
We use the drippings of the.
Yeah, I know. There's my mother-in-law.
Oh no, not stovetop though. Don't eat that.
Well, but I mean, there is. Yeah, like that's why like you can quote unquote get stuff. You can't really get stuffing outside of having a turkey, in my opinion, because that's like the way my mother-in-law always makes stuffing. It definitely goes back into the turkey carcass for however long to like absorb the shit, I'm guessing. So if it doesn't do that, I guess it is dressing.
Okay, that's what I think. But okay. Last question. Favorite holiday tradition or memory?
Me, probably going to my grandparents on Christmas Eve, and like my whole family was there. Like we'd always do Christmas Day at my family and stuff. Like this is like circa as a kid, and that's something I've done in like 25 years. But just like Christmas Eve at my grandparents with all my aunts and my uncles, my siblings, cousins, and all that. That was always fun. And kind of like once they got older and kind of people didn't like they couldn't handle having people over and stuff, everything kind of changed, and like my whole like family dynamic kind of went away like from what it was growing up. So like I missed that because that was just like the most like when I think of like when I enjoyed being part of my family the most, it was like that era when like everyone was like she's still in that age group kind of, and like everyone, like my grandparents were still like vital, or like they had their faculties and everything. So I very much miss that more than so I guess that kind of doesn't, if that answers it, I guess.
Yeah, it does. I like it.
It's actually, you're the most serious Goose episode I think we've had. Because it's
and we only said cunt 17 times.
Yeah, going to my grandma's because when my parents separated, I would go to my paternal grandma, Mary. I would go to, it's the second time she's come up tonight. I would go to her house every Christmas Day. So I would wake up with my mom and my brothers. We would have our Christmas, but then I would go there because he was only my dad. He wasn't their dad.
Yeah.
So I would go there to have Christmas with them. And it was always, at the time it was fine. Obviously there was stuff happening that wasn't fine, but the day I think I was, God, I don't remember how old I was, but I was old enough to remember when my grandma said, I don't think I can do Christmas this year. And that was when we knew something was wrong.
Yeah.
And you never knew what you had. You never knew how important it was. And at the time I had to be like, I want to say I was a teenager or in my 20s. I was like, okay, it's fine. I'll see you next year. And then like it took a month or two to go, no, wait a minute. Like she takes this shit very seriously. Something's up. Because she wasn't going to tell anybody that she was sick. So yeah, I would say that it's definitely that, which harkens back to our friend Brian, who you never know what you have till you don't have it anymore.
Right. That's so true. Okay,
that was a serious story. First of all, I felt like yeah, my grandma was a huge part of my life, but I just had to bring it back to silliness because this is the unpaid and underrated.
Yeah, I think
okay. Well,
no crying. There's no crying in baseball.
I was waiting. It was like that's the most serious he's been. That was very emotional.
I don't want to do that on this podcast, but
no, I got you.
Miss the shit out of my grandma.
I think Jen's gonna bring back some levity for us.
We named my daughter after my grandma. So like
awesome. So I'm sorry, I'm gonna go a little serious, Goose, but then I'll wrap it up.
Here we go.
I'll wrap it up with the hilarious story, okay? That I actually thought my brother would bring up, but he didn't. So my tradition was we always went to my paternal grandparents on Christmas Eve, and I freaking loved it. I love that it's night and it's dark, so the lights look great. I just love it so much. And it was just them and my small family. And then on the way home, my parents would see like a plane fly by and say that it was Santa and his reindeer, so we had to make sure we got home in time to get to bed so that Santa could come. But same aspect, Joey. So my grandpa Pride, was very proud of his Christmas lights, and he went out to turn his lights on one year and came back in, and unfortunately he passed away in front of us on Christmas Eve. But it was hard. He was a big part of my life too. But I'm hoping that I can continue the tradition with my family on Christmas Eve, because even though it's hard, it's still a great memory, and I hope I can. Sorry, guys.
You're good. No, this is your platform.
It's
just
memories are all we have, Jen. When we're not here, it's important that somebody remembers who we are. And the fact that you're doing that, I know it's hard right now and it's sad, but like it's genuinely the most important thing we can do for the people that came before us.
Yep. So I have already told my son that when he's married, I'm like, you can have Christmas Day. You're in. You can, the in-laws can have. Can I please just have Christmas Eve? That's all I want.
Yeah.
So anyway, but I'll bring us back so that I don't have to. None of us can cry anymore.
We have this game we like to play.
Yeah, there's this game that Tanner likes to play.
We're all crying.
Okay, I really thought my brother might bring this up, but this is one of my greatest holiday memories ever. Okay, so my brother and I, we're really tight, and we always got a lot of gifts together because, like I said, I was a tomboy, so we would like, hey, let's get a Nintendo. Let's ask them for this so that we could get something even better. But one year, all we wanted was remote control boats. Okay, and don't forget, I live in Iowa, so it's super ass cold in the winter. So when do we get these boats? We get them for freaking Christmas, okay? So we get them for Christmas. And of course, now we have these remote control boats that we can't do anything with for months. So I remember it was probably first spring or first signs of spring. There's just enough ice like melted off this pond by my grandpa's farm that we could go bring these boats out there. So my dad takes my brother and I out with our new boats. And, obviously still freezing us cold, but months later after Christmas, we finally get to open them up. We put them out on the pond, we're driving them around. And then all of a sudden, one of them starts kind of going in a circle. And I'm like, Dad, we can't control it anymore. And the next thing you know, the other one starts going in a circle. And so these boats, we've lost all control of these remote control boats. And next thing you know, you see them just spin, spin, spin. And then they do the death Titanic thing where the noses go up and they just sink.
Oh, wow.
I have such a fond memory of my dad going, dun, dun, dun.
Saluting them to their, eternal
saluting
grave.
them and giving them taps. Oh my God, it has been my favorite memory of my entire life. I can't believe my brother didn't say that one.
That's hysterical.
So
yeah, no, we didn't get that one.
Think of it every time that Christmas comes.
That's great.
Around, so
it's like, what are you gonna do? You're not gonna go after them. You just those are fun while they lasted.
Yeah. Well, that was definitely a more cheerful icy water story than what Big Waffle gave us last month.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Nobody lost any thighs on that one.
Nope.
Jesus.
I even remember they were black and yellow. Poor little boats.
Yeah. Who actually was that? Sorry, was that a gift from your parents or?
Yeah, it was from our parents. Yeah.
And was that like one of the bigger cause was that like a big bulk of your entire Christmas too?
Yes.
And then it just went up and fucking up.
Actually,
up in smoke.
My parents. So I told you before that we felt like we didn't have a ton of stuff when we were growing up, but always Christmas time, they both worked at the same company that I work at actually, but always got really good bonuses around Christmas. So nice. They'd spoil us rotten at Christmas time.
Yeah, I didn't grow up with a ton either, but like my mom always made sure Christmas was special.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember the one time she showed up with every Power Ranger toy. She had all of them, the 5 Rangers.
Nice.
And then like the following year she showed up with every Kiss toy because I was into Kiss suddenly. And then the following year was every Spice Girl doll. Like I got everything ever for Christmas because my mom just made sure,
Yep. I love it.
Because Christmas had to matter then.
Well,
we're going into November. Going into November hot. Woo. All right.
You guys ready to dive in?
I think I'm ready to dive right in.
All right.
Let's dive right in.
I think we should. I think it's probably a good time to bring this to a landing. If anyone's, was that the last thing you had, Jen? End on that positive note of the sinking ships, because I think that was.
Ryan, do you have anything you want to add? You're still here, you psycho.
Yeah, sneaking up on us.
He's probably stuck in a hotel with nothing else to do.
I was looking at my notes,
listening,
but yeah, I don't know if he's just there to.
He just left it there and walked away. Fucking guy. I'm going to kick him out in a minute. Actually, can I just kick him out?
He's good, apparently.
Oh, I'm good. All right, cool. Well,
I'm good.
We're good. All right. So I've been Big Joey. fuck it. Like I said, I say it every month, every week, every month,
once a month.
If you're listening to this, you're following me already. If you're
Yep.
listening to this and don't follow me, figure it out. How about you guys?
Go ahead and follow the website. It's unpaidandunderrated.com, something like that. We got an Instagram. It's out there. I'm Big Keith. He's gonna get 73. Go follow my Orange Gym, the No Wine Cellar, and Big Jen. Where are they gonna find you?
You can get me at Get Strong Gen 24. Maybe someday Stay Strong Gen 24, but for now, Get Strong Gen 24 on Instagram.
And everybody, don't forget to follow Brian J1008. Just to make sure that he knows that we miss him. We miss you, man. I wish you're still here.
He brought us a lot of good memories, though.
Soon we'll be recapping his memories in sad voices.
Yep.
Well, Brian, we'll go ahead and see you next Tuesday, buddy.